Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 353. Tough break for the Red Sox at the deadline. I'm Nick. We have Harrison as always tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic. Nick, how we doing?
Doing all right. A little tough luck for the Red Sox here after the deal. We'll jump into all that and some other news and some out of left field discussions and a little bit of fun trivia I put together, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links on the tops of all of our socials. So if you do any shopping with these companies, please do it through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. Also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy. If you search Rounding 3RD Baseball, we have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases. You know, English is hard for
me.
Me
have those too. It's fine. Just check the store. Yeah, we got it all.
Exactly. And we do have shirts coming out with our new logo on them, Joseph Greer. So I know you are excited for them. They are on the Etsy store here in the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for those. And it looks pretty sharp with the new logo on it. So check us out, Rounding 3RD Baseball on Etsy. All right, before we get into the show, I want to thank Rob, Robbie, and Marty last night. I went on to highlights from Lowlifes last night. And you see highlights in the comments quite a bit. He's a regular viewer of the show. They're on a pretty cool app called Mic'd Up. And it's cool because like you can like voice your comment into the app. So you're not even typing it in. You just like, if you want something to say to the show, it's kind of like calling into a radio station, but it's on an app. So it was pretty cool. But I want to thank them so much for that because it was an absolute blast. Three great guys that love the game. I mean, I had a ton of fun on that show. And what they do is really cool. They're just a big group of friends. They travel around different ballparks, all of that stuff. It was a lot of fun, and appreciate you guys letting me share our journey. I mean, Harrison and I have been on a journey. It's continuing to grow. So they wanted to hear all about that and how we've gotten there. So it's been one of the coolest parts of this for us, or at least for me, Harrison. Like, again, when we started this, not understanding that we were going to start connecting with all these other creators and guys from different shows. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware of all these other baseball shows and pages and podcasts that are out there, and didn't know anything about any of them. And what's interesting is as you kind of get into that space and start to grow and run across each other, then you realize that the community of people just like us that are just baseball fans that want to talk ball, and everybody wants to see everybody succeed. So there's no like holding anything back or not wanting to share. And it's been fun to just like share ideas, share topics. I mean, cross pollinate shows. It's been a lot of fun. It's a really cool community.
Yeah, I would love to get these guys on here at some point on maybe a Thursday night and just talk about what they're all about. Also, NYMLB Talk, which you've seen kind of on Clearing the Bases. Kind of cool to get a New York perspective coming from two Boston fans. So
would you call it cool? Is it cool though?
I mean, they're more down to earth about their teams than your typical Mets and Yankees fans. So they're great guys. So we are
like Curtis, they're not like just like Yankee fanboys.
Exactly. So we're looking to kind of schedule times to get those guys on and absolutely love it. So we'll use this Thursday platform to kind of bring those guys on and just talk. But I'm going to kind of let the trade deadline here surpass for a minute, and then we'll get going with those guys. But
yeah.
Again, thanks. Highlights from Low Lives. You guys were incredible. Really appreciate the invite. It was an awesome time. So. All right, let's jump into it, Harrison. The Red Sox trade Connolly early for Curtis Mead last week. We tune into the A's and Red Sox game. Curtis Mead strikes out in his first at bat. Next at bat gets hit in the forearm. X-rays initially were negative, But as we know, swelling sometimes messes with the x-rays. Come to find out the next morning, he does have a fracture and he's done. So, your thoughts?
It's amazing the lineup looks exactly like it did before the trade. So I guess I'm really not seeing any change here. So I don't know. I mean, all right, I got two rants to go on here. But the first one is like, what terrible luck for this guy. I mean, he gets traded. He's all excited to come to Boston. He's gonna, he's the history, the aura of Fenway Park. Like the dude didn't even get to Fenway before he got hurt. Like every one of these guys, when they come to Boston, like they want to go see Fenway. And I mean, and many of them have seen it as visitors, but they've never seen it as a home player with that crowd cheering for you. And dude didn't even get to come to Fenway. So I mean, I feel terrible for him. I feel terrible for yeah the situation he's in. This exciting change and nothing. Um, and it stinks because now you've traded Connolly early for nothing this year effectively, and hopefully Mead ends up being the player you hope he is in future years, but for this year you're going to get absolutely nothing out of that trade, and that sucks.
It is absolutely horrible luck because if you look at the left picture here, you look down his whole left arm. The bicep and triceps covered, the elbows covered, even the upper part of his forearms covered
Yep.
with the hand guard, and it got him right on the red tape. Like, are you joking me? Like, that is the worst luck ever right there. And yeah, fracture and he's out. So
Brutal.
interesting to see what else the Red Sox do because they're most likely going to try to fill that hole again. Correct?
I mean, I would assume they're going to try to do something. It certainly takes away the ability to spin him in part of a package for somebody else or put Durbin in a package for somebody else, and because now you got to put Durbin back at third and go back to where you started. So I'm not sure where this leaves the Red Sox. Like I hope they're not done. But uh, who knows? I mean, this trade deadline could surprise us.
Well, it looked like they were going to keep Durbin at third anyways and put Mead at second and have Siegler come off the bench. That looked like is what they were going to do because I mean Durbin's been playing an excellent third base for the Red
Yep.
Sox, so why move him off? So all moot point at this point.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it would
matter.
have been nice to actually get a big enough sample set to see where they played better, but you didn't even get that. So the dude lasted what 4 innings and was gone.
Oh God, man, terrible.
But to back to my rant, what the hell is going on with the Red Sox medical staff? You've got Garrett Crochet. They can't diagnose him. They can't figure him out. They got some ideas and theories. Ranger Suarez or Ron Hare Suarez, they didn't really diagnose correctly. You've got Roman Anthony, you can't get healthy. You got Curtis Mead, whose X-rays were negative, but it actually is a fracture. Like, are they? Do they have like an Etch-a-Sketch back there to take X-rays? Like, what are they doing? They consistently have guys that get hurt, and then they can't diagnose them, they can't solve it, they can't treat them, and they can't get them healthy. What? This is what is this medical staff? Is this like it's just like a bunch of nobodies wandering around the training room? Like, what the hell are they doing?
An etch a sketch is wild, but I just picture somebody sitting there like drawing on an etch a sketch, like, oh yeah, not broken, we're good.
I mean, what are they doing? Like, they just like shine a flashlight on it, like, oh, this is like an X-ray, we can almost see it. Like, what? I don't get it. They consistently misdiagnose stuff and then send them to a specialist. Like, oh yeah, no, it's actually a problem. Let's
Yeah,
go get them looked at by a real professional because apparently the Red Sox don't have real professionals in the medical staff.
yeah,
Um, I feel like all the money they spend on medical, and yet they consistently don't really know what's going on with these guys.
yeah. Greg says a hairline fracture, and you can sometimes only see them on MRIs. Yeah, I mean, fair. If it's a hairline fracture, he should still be in the lineup. I mean, come on, it's just a fracture.
Yeah, Scott, do they share medical staffs with the 49ers?
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, we've said that about the Yankees too. Like their training staff. Like, how do these guys keep getting hurt? Like, I feel like the Red Sox, for whatever reason, they can't seem when guys get hurt, they can't get them healthy.
yeah,
They can't even diagnose them.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any faith. Right. I mean, it's tough for me to say. I hope the Red Sox do something here, but I mean, you've already been snake bitten here, which I think Mike said back here in the comments. It's like it's just tough luck, right?
Brutal.
I mean, that's all it is. Like, and I blame Breslow. I do too, because if he makes this trade a day later, he doesn't get hit by the pitch, right? Because he's not in Sacramento yet. So yeah, I blame Breslow. But
Well, and the
it's
irony of
just
it is,
tough.
it's a trade that we're all kind of like, why are we doing this? And now it's literally just all for nothing.
Yeah.
So it just makes it worse.
I mean, we'll see, right? He comes with some control,
He
right? So
does.
I mean, it's just tough luck to start. It's just not a great way to start.
Well,
But
and this
we'll
this
see.
is all going to depend on how he responds too. Like
Right.
some people heal quickly from these, faster than others. You know, you could see him in the second half of October. I mean, the second half of September, leading
Yeah.
into October if you're still in it. So like his season may not be over. It's the probability of him being back in time to have an impact is probably pretty slim. But who knows? I mean, some people get through these faster.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Brewers have apparently made Jesus Made available, which is their top prospect. Does this make Milwaukee the front runners for Skubal?
I maybe I'm still not convinced the Brewers are prepared to take on money, and I think that's been their stance all along. Is they're not really looking to add payroll. They don't. I mean, they don't have a lot of funds to add payroll and absorb it anyways. So I still feel like taking the last 40% of that $32 million deal might be a little more than they're looking for. I mean, they'd still owe him like $12 million for the rest of the year. Would make him like the highest paid guy on the team, second highest paid guy on the team for the 2 months that he's there. Um, I don't know. I think that he'd be a great fit in Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's got an incredible prospect package they could put together. I just think that the cost of Skubal is a little rich for their blood, but I would way rather see him there than LA.
I'm with you. I think the Brewers, for me personally, I think have leapt into that number one spot. I think the prospect haul, to your point, that the Brewers can give back are just as good as the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers can offer that same type of package, right? The Brewers have those prospects as well. So,
Totally.
and I think the Brewers are more desperate, right? So they might even throw an extra prospect in there. But to Greg's point, Dodgers are going to overpay what anyone else puts out for Skubal. And it would be dumb for the Brewers to not go back to the Dodgers and see, hey, look, Brewers are offering this. I mean, Tigers are offering this. We're offering this. Or let me start over. The Tigers would be stupid to not shop both, play them both against each other, right? Call the Brewers, ask what they got, go to the Dodgers, ask what they got, and then just play them off each other. Because it is going to take a significant package to get Skubal for a rental for 2 months.
Well, and
So,
I feel like that right there is the reason that I feel like the Brewers don't do this. The Brewers know they're not going to sign him. They can't afford to sign Skubal, so he is 100% a rental. And if I'm the Brewers, I need those prospects. I got to keep that pipeline full because when the next wave of guys goes on, I need guys to fill them with.
yeah,
And so that's an organization that's been built almost entirely from within. It's built almost entirely off of their own prospects and player development. And dumping those guys for a 2 month rental is risky for them because if they don't go win it all with Skubal and they've lost three of their top prospects, they may set themselves back a year or two
yeah,
by emptying that pipeline. They don't have the ability to rebound as easily as other teams do because they just don't have the payroll to do it.
yeah. Curtis says Rosenthal said something different. Like Made is not an option, but they could offer the ones right behind him. So even if Made is off the table, I don't know if the Tigers pull the trigger. Like, you got to give me your number one guy, but I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, remember the Brewers rented CC years ago, and I can see this happening again. I mean, I don't know. Robbie Ray for the Brewers, perhaps that's a decent one. Robbie Ray is going to move out of San Francisco. Somebody is going to trade for Robbie Ray. I am 98% sure that he's gone. It's a contract year for him. Would he be a good addition for that Brewers? Is he a fallback plan if they can't get Skubal? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the Brewers are not likely to get a guy like Skubal because of the cost, but I do think they could go after a Gosman or somebody like that who could fill in at the back end and come a lot cheaper. I mean, because yeah, the Brewers did trade for CC, and they gave up at the time not a massive haul, but they gave up some good players. One of which ended up being Michael Brantley. But that was a different era for the Brewers. This is a Brewers team that is built very differently, and they're trying to compete every single year for the long term and keep the payroll in check. And I think Skubal would throw a big wrench in that plan.
But if you are the Brewers, you haven't been able to get past your first round, right? The round that you start the playoffs in, whether you get a bye or not, whatever, right? Your first round, you have not been able to get by, right? Except for last year, they finally won a playoff series, right? They beat the Cubs and then they got manhandled by the Dodgers. So, does this move put you over the edge? Having Mizorowski and Skubal go back to back in a playoff rotation that's, let's face it, it's 3 pitchers deep, and you have these guys go 2, possibly 3 times in a 7-game set. Is that worth the risk for you, for a team that can't get over the hump? It's like, hey, at some point we have to try to go for this.
Yep.
Is this the year that the Brewers are like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. We have to, if we want to get over this hump. Is it worth the risk?
I mean, I think it all depends on how they feel about the guys behind the guys they'd be trading. Do you feel like, how big an impact would trading your, 3 or 4 of your top guys be? I mean, the Brewers have the best minor league system in all of baseball. So it's not like they're sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, these are only 3 guys we have. Like, they do have more guys coming. The question becomes, is it worth, do you have enough behind them to lose them? And I don't know how the front office feels. This front office is very conservative, but they're also very good at finding the right pieces and making them fit. Every year they get rid of players, that we're like, oh my goodness, Peralta's gone. Oh my goodness, Durbin's gone. They barely had Woodruff. Doesn't matter. They keep rolling.
Right.
Here's Mizorowski coming up. Here's Churio. Like, they just keep bringing guys up. Like, that's their MO.
Yeah.
And so maybe you make it to the NLCS this year, or maybe you actually make a World Series appearance. But is that worth missing the playoffs in 3 years because you've lost all that depth? I don't know where this front office is. I think everybody wants to see them go for it. I just don't know if they're ready to take that gamble.
Yeah. That's my question too, is at what point do we say, okay, enough is enough. We have to go. We can't just keep stockpiling. We can't just keep having a first round exit. Like, this is the year we have the opportunity to get one of the top, if not the top arm in the game right now. Let's do it. We have to. So, but yeah, Silix, Brewers been linked to Peralta and Gosman. Yep. Brewers have been linked to Peralta and Gosman heavily. Yeah, but are those playoff rotation guys? Are those guys that you can rely on in the postseason? Gosman more than Peralta, maybe. The only saving grace with Peralta is he's been in Milwaukee, so he's comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, Gosman was nails in the playoffs for the Blue Jays last year. I think Gosman's got a pretty good playoff track record. I don't know that there's a lot of risk taking Gosman. Does he move the needle a lot? I mean, he moves the needle, but a lot, I don't know. And the reunion with Peralta, that'd be interesting because he's not had a good season. I wonder if going back to Milwaukee changes things for him. Maybe this is just a comfort level there.
No one in the Queens has had a good season. So, I mean,
Fair.
it's really hard to judge their performance because it's just been an absolute, utter train wreck over there.
Makes you wonder, if they weren't letting AI manage the team, like, would they be playing better?
Probably. I can't even. Yeah, remember, they get a free year to develop players with the impending lockout. I mean,
there you go.
Not wrong, John. And Brewers are pretty damn good as is. And I agree, Scott. They're a great team, but they're still not at the Dodgers level, right? So my question does, first of all, does Skubal do that for them? Does it at least put them at the Dodgers level? I mean, I'm never going to say they're at the Dodgers level even with Skubal, but does it bring them a lot closer where they could possibly steal a series?
Yeah, I think what makes the Brewers such a good team is that they are so balanced. Contact, speed, defense, pitching, and over the long span of a season, when you play really good baseball, it's hard to lose a lot of games. However, the playoffs are about 5 and 7 game bursts. Who can match up the best? Who's got the biggest weapons? And that's where that playing style sometimes doesn't work as well in the playoffs because you're not getting somebody's 5 starter today. You're getting the 1 starter and the 2 starter and the 3, and then you're going to get the 1 again.
Right.
Like you don't see the 4 and the 5. You don't see the questionable bullpen guys. Like now you're only getting the best of the best. And that's where their style of play sometimes can bite you because
Yeah.
you got to match up.
Yeah. Or you're the Dodgers and you just roll out Yamamoto in game 1, comes out of the bullpen in game 2, starts game 3 out of the
Yeah,
bullpen in game 4. It's
just slap a saddle on that boy and ride him.
yeah, insane. So obviously we will keep a note on that, but the Tigers officially made Skubal available this morning, I believe. So he is out there to be had. So the Tigers are selling Skubal.
Yeah, interesting comment here from Silks. I've heard the same thing that Detroit would like to make a trade with Tampa because the prospects they really want are all in Tampa. And I can't remember the 3 prospects they actually had like individually named and what I had read. I'll see if I can't find the article. But there's 2 or 3 players in particular in Tampa they really want, more so than what they're going to pluck out of their systems.
Yeah, this is my shocked face. Prospects coming out of Tampa.
I know it's
Shocked.
prospects coming out of Tampa, shocker. Prospects coming out of the Dodgers, also a shocker.
Yeah.
Brewers, also a shocker. Like it's just there's some teams that just constantly have that flow of talent.
Yep. All right. Are the Twins buyers, Harrison? Now they're not really sure if they're gonna trade Jeffers with their current standings. And the Twins front office came out and said, we might be looking to buy here. So, with a team that we thought was going to finish 0-162 with how they acted at the trade deadline last year, I mean, it was we didn't even know anybody left on their roster, and the guys we did know were on the IL, which Buxton is back on, by the way. We didn't know anybody that came up with the Twins for the last half of that year. So we're sitting there, we're like, oh, this is a complete rebuild for them. And it's going to take a couple years. Now, do they buy? But with Buxton on the IL, do they put a kibosh on that?
I mean, I look at it as, and I think I said this a few weeks ago, the Twins are not supposed to be competing right now. Like that was not their plan. This was year 1 of a multi-year rebuild. Bring the kids up, see what they got, see, get closer to figuring out when, some of these veterans are on their way out here soon. Some will probably get traded. But if I'm the Twins, like I think I got to stick with the plan of if we make the playoffs this year, that's a bonus. That's house money. But we're not to go and spin off prospects for rental players and all that is absolutely not part of their plan. So I don't think the Twins do much at the trade deadline. If there's some deals to be had, maybe they'll go maybe they'll trade some pieces they have for different pieces to fill some gaps in their pipeline. But if I'm the Twins, I am very much staying the course. And if we happen to make the playoffs this year, bonus.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna run the risk of pushing off our plan and this rebuild for a shot to get to the playoffs where we might just get our brains rattled in the first series. But I gotta stay the course.
Yeah. John Carter says, we are not buyers. Let's not go nuts. We won't be sellers either. It's the Twins way. Silic says they took Jeffers off the market because they were getting ridiculously low offers and people want the 2 pieces they won't trade. And yeah. And Clemens hit that walk-off super slam today. So
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, ultimately I saw this report and I was like, I mean, we'll put it in and talk about it, but I'm with you. I think they are a stand pat team. They're overperforming what they're supposed to be, and they're just going to keep their pieces. Maybe retool and whatever this upcoming offseason looks like, because nobody knows, and go for it next year. But yeah, it's a full rebuild for sure.
Well, and I think in reality, the Twins are sitting at 500. They're a minus 29 run differential. Their expected win loss is 52 and 58. They've played a little bit better than the stats say they should have, but they're only relevant because the American League is garbage.
Right.
Most seasons, they're probably 6, 7 games out right now, and we're not even talking about them being buyers. We're just like, hey, they're in a rebuild. Like, let it play out.
Yeah, we're talking
This is
about Joe. We're talking about Joe Ryan being dealt at the deadline. Is what
right.
we're
This is
talking
a
about.
low bar this year. So it's one of those things where, like, yeah, they look good this year, but they're a 500 ball club. Like that's probably their best case is a 500 finish.
Yeah. Yeah, John Carter, we're not rebuilding. The Pohlads are saving money. If we win in spite of that, great. John Temple says, our Twins are a couple of years away. Silic says the Yankees offered Volpe for Jeffers and a prospect. That is a slap in the face. Yeah.
The Yankees should pay somebody to take Volpe away. You shouldn't be expected to get anything back.
No, absolutely brutal. But all right, so here it is. Byron Buxton rejoins the IL with a lingering hamstring injury. And I don't know. I mean, yes, it's lingering for his entire career, but
I was going to say
as we
it's
as
been
we
a
were talking,
decade.
as we were just talking about the Twins being buyers, will this turn them into a seller completely? Does that single-handedly just flip their thinking, having your star go on the IL?
I think at
Like,
this point they're so used to him missing time that it's just part of the plan.
yeah,
It's part of the
fair.
expectation. But I think that I think him getting hurt probably is a setback to their to how they feel about their playoff chances. But at the same time, like I don't think they thought much about their playoff chances.
Yeah,
This is all like a bonus. This is the frosting on the cake they didn't realize they were going to get. So no, I think they just continue to stay the course. If anything, it's not a bad thing because now some young guy is going to get more playing time, and you can continue to see what you got.
yeah.
This is a great opportunity to give somebody else that playing time.
Oh, sorry, hip injury is what John says. It's not hamstring, hip. So my
Oh,
bad. Either way. Um, yeah, but do you, if you're the Twins, I know you've been lowballed on offers, but again, getting something in return versus not getting anything and letting a guy walk, like a Jeffers, like those guys that are their contracts are expiring. Like, is that worth it for the Twins to ship those guys out for the last 2 months?
oh, absolutely. And that's what I mean by I think that if the Twins have a chance to maybe swap some pieces for different pieces, I could see them doing that. If there's an opportunity to, you know, I'm not sure exactly what their farm system's full of right now, but I'm pretty sure they've got like a bunch of outfielders and no infielders and something like that. I'm gonna try to find packages that fills in some of the gaps that I have. But yeah, if
Yeah.
I've got expiring contracts or people that just aren't part of the plan, I would certainly consider, moving them out and trying to fill in other pieces that give me what I need. Because again, like if you're the Twins, if you're trying to do what the Brewers have done or the Rays have done and try to develop more players and bring them up and keep payroll down, then you need to fill the farm system. Their farm system's not great. This is a chance to turn some of those pieces into more bodies um, that give you more options.
Yeah. John Carter, our Twins fan, our avid Twins fan, we had the perfect opportunity to call up Kalen Culpepper to play short and recall Tristan Gray instead. This team infuriates me. All right. So, do we want to just talk about them for another 20 minutes then? And like really get John Carter going?
I mean, we could if you want to see John Carter like implode.
But yeah, crazy.
I just the Twins are in a weird spot because they're not supposed to be competitive, but they are. You got a bunch of young guys that are not that far away. You got some guys on the roster right now that don't fit, but if you kind of traded them off, you leave big holes. It's kind of just a weird spot. But if you've got
Yeah.
a chance to turn some of those guys into more prospects, this is not a bad opportunity to do it because you're not supposed to be any good this year.
Yeah. Kind of, I mean, a little bit different, but kind of like the Diamondbacks in the NL. right? The Diamondbacks and Twins are in similar boats. Although Diamondbacks were expected to compete, like a little different there, but they're kind of in the same position where like
Yep.
we don't really want to buy, we don't really want to sell. Like we have young guys, we need pitching, but like it is what it is. So
Yep.
I think the Twins and the Diamondbacks in comparison are kind of in the same spot where they're just kind of stuck. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get out to the West Coast. Casey Schmidt, which we've heard his name come up in trade rumors, he also has a meniscus tear, most likely done for the season. It was the one trade piece other than Robbie Ray that they might have had that is no longer. So Giants now are even in a worse spot than they were before. I mean, we have been on this show talking about the atrocious contracts that they won't get rid of at the deadline. They would love to, but that's a pipe dream. That's not happening. Casey Schmidt was one of those pieces that teams were interested in, and it sounded like the Giants were somewhat interested. They were listening. Is out for the season. So now what the hell did the Giants do other than get rid of I mean, a Rise is gone. It pretty much is gone. It sounds like the Rays are the front runner for a Rise. And Robbie Ray, I would expect to also get shipped out. What else to the Giants? I mean, they're stuck for different reasons, but where do they even go? Where do you even start with this?
Well, the hard part with Schmidt too is like he was literally your best offensive player this year too. It seemed like he was the only guy that
Easily.
consistently delivered anything for you.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge blow to a team that didn't have a lot to give, and he's probably a guy that they didn't necessarily want to trade because he's a free agent in 2030, and he's under team control for a little while, and he's got a hell of a bat and some positional flexibility. So not a bad guy to have around, but it kind of leaves you stuck now because you don't have a lot of options. You don't have a lot of moves to make. You got a bunch of guys you can't trade, and the one guy you can count on at least making this offense, not terrible, is now out.
Yeah. And Silix, I get this, right? The Giants said they will eat money to move, Adames, Devers, and Robbie Ray. How much though? Like, are teams still willing? That's just a lot of money the Giants have to eat, and maybe that's what they were kind of dangling Schmidt out for. Because if we eat the money, we're gonna need some type of control back, because we're not going to be able to pay these guys. We're not going to be able to pay free agents. So maybe that's why they dangled Schmidt out there to try to get some guys with control. That would be my only reasoning, right? Is that their plan is to eat money, get those contracts out, and get players back or prospects back with control in return for Schmidt. And maybe that was the plan, and it just kind of all backfires like the Giants' entire season has. Maybe that's that.
I mean, Schmidt may have been bait you could have dangled out there to kind of tack a bad contract on with him, maybe if you're thinking he might be a trade option. But I mean, the Giants are still in the same spot they were before. You got bad contracts that are hard to move. You got to eat a bunch of money. You may have to sacrifice a piece you don't want to move one of them.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Buster Posey's got a lot of ammo to work with here. He's not working from a position of leverage. He's very much gonna, he's passing the cup around, begging for help.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Jung-Hoo Lee's also on the block too. He might get moved as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard his name a few times. Chapman and his massive deal blocking Casey at third. What a travesty. And I think there's that. And for me, I think the only way to get out from underneath these contracts is exactly what you said, Harrison, right? You got a Mookie Betts a David Price deal on one of these guys, right? And it sucks, but that's what you're going to have to do. That's the only way you're going to get players back with control as well, is if you send somebody that has control. You said till 2030, right? I mean, that's control. So that's the only way. But I really hate it for Giants fans because if these contracts don't get moved at the deadline in the offseason, which probably won't happen in this offseason for sure, if you don't get them out now, like, are we looking at the same thing next year? Are we looking at the same product on the field next year? And same
I
results?
mean, it very well could be. And the funny part is, look at the Giants. Who do you have to trade? You've got Chapman, a third baseman, Devers, third baseman, first baseman, Schmidt, third baseman. You've got Adames, shortstop. You've got all these guys that are competing for literally the same position. Like, you've got no depth anywhere else in the field,
Right.
but literally third base and first. And that,
Yeah.
Schmidt's bounced around to try to get playing time. He's been DH. I mean, he's been all over the place because they're trying to get his bat in the lineup because all the positions he plays are blocked by bad contracts.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramos in Boston would wear out the Green Monster, and his name's been floated out there too. So maybe they do get something. But yes, the same thing unless someone is desperate. And I'm with you, Curtis. I think that's a great way to put it.
Yep.
It's tough. I hate it. I hate it for Giants fans. I hate it for Aaron, man. It sucks. It's such a terrible position to be in. You have all these guys with massive contracts, can't move them. Teams aren't going to take these contracts going into the lockout. It is what it is. It is really bad timing for the Giants to have all of these contracts in the way going into this lockout. Brutal.
Well, what sucks for me too is Buster Posey. A lot of this mess has been created by Buster. And I said it when he took the job. The Giants need to surround him with really good people so they don't let him ruin his legacy in that city. Don't let him go in and screw this up, because it's one thing to be a baseball guy, one thing to be a talent evaluator, one thing to actually run the team.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. And he's not doing it well. But he's never done it before. And this is a guy who's not that old. It's not like he spent a bunch of years as somebody's assistant, or he went right from the field to the couch to the front office. And I feel like you're watching Buster Posey make a mess of this organization out of inexperience and also just some bad decisions. But I said this back when he took the job: is don't let him do that. Like, give him the supporting structure he needs to learn this job, to learn on the job, because you can't let him tarnish his legacy there in the front office.
Yeah.
And they're letting him do that because it's not good.
Well, and it's trickled down all the way to Vitello. I mean, think about that decision.
Terrible.
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do there, right? I mean, yeah, it's an absolute mess over there.
And I said the same thing when they hired him. This is not a Giants move. That's a move the Marlins make because nobody wants that job. This is the Giants. The freaking San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
You don't have to hire a college coach. You can go get a real experienced MLB manager.
Right. That is looking for jobs. It's just crazy. Yeah. Just because you're a great player doesn't make you a great executive. Yep. Agree.
Yep.
Ramos being traded to Boston and we get Devers back with the Giants eating salary would be hilarious. Please no. It would be funny, but please no.
Man, he wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
The way it ended.
Adames hit 30 homers last year. Chapman seems to have fallen off the cliff, and even the biggest Devers hater couldn't have seen it be this bad. He's come around a little bit, but yeah, I think Adames is the best contract out of the three. Like, no doubt.
This isn't bad.
If you are the Giants, I don't know why you pull that trigger on that deal to get Devers over there anyways. I really don't. I mean, that's a massive contract. And maybe Posey was expecting more production out of him, but we knew it wasn't going to be the same. Like, that's not a hitter's park.
No.
So it's like
bad fit.
Yeah, not a if he has any type of speed, maybe better, but he's starting to learn to hit in that ballpark a little bit, I guess, but it's still that is the biggest risk. That's a bigger risk than taking Vitello on, in my eyes, was taking that Devers contract. Just
Well, and
crazy.
you're getting exactly what everybody expected you to get out of the Devers. You're getting a guy who's lost a lot of his home run power, but he leads Major League Baseball in doubles. All those home runs he used to get in other ballparks are now doubles.
Right.
The one thing you didn't expect with Raffy is the strikeouts. The strikeouts have escalated quickly over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy who didn't strike, who struck out some, not a ton. His strikeouts are up almost 50% from where they were even just a couple years ago. He is a K machine the last 3 years. You could
Dang.
see that coming. Like the bat was slowing down. He's out of shape. He's not trying anymore. He got paid and he got lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole world saw that fall off coming. I just don't think we saw it this fast. And
Yeah.
also the fact he's just a terrible teammate.
Right. Crazy. So we'll see what happens with the Giants. I mean, it's just it's not pleasant to see at all. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, we did have a trade. Logan O'Hoppe from the Angels to the Rangers, and the Rangers immediately optioned him to AAA. Why? I mean, granted, he has had a dreadful season, but why even make that trade to begin with? Is it just to get some youth behind the dish? Because you got what, Danny Jansen and Higashioka. So is it just to have some youth back there?
I mean, it it feels like it feels like this is like if we can get him cheap, let's get him because I mean he's shown some signs that he is a very good catcher. I mean, 2024 we were talking about how great this kid was and he was the real deal. You know, and last year he fell off a little bit, not a ton, but he's also hurt. And this year too, he's fallen off a cliff, but he's also missed a bunch of time, hurt again. The talent is there. They just have to. They just got to keep him healthy. But
Yeah.
this is to me, this is like a no risk or very low risk, high upside. If he doesn't pan out, didn't cost you that much. If you can turn him around, you could have a 26-year-old catcher on the climb going into his prime years, and you look like a genius.
Now he did come with Silseth, the reliever, which is what the Rangers I think were more
Yeah,
targeting over O'Hoppe. But John Temple says maybe flip him, right? Trade bait, more in return, possibly. I mean, this could be a flip. You just stash him in AAA until you're ready to send him out again.
yeah,
Possibly.
yeah. Again, like it never hurts to have young, talented guys in your system for when somebody calls.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody wants a catcher right now. So I mean, who knows? Texas keeps missing on catcher prospects, so they figured they'd try someone else's prospect.
I mean, more
Fair.
importantly to me, this feels like the Angels quitting on him more than anything because
Mm,
you literally got nothing for him. Basically, I mean, the trade was really Silseth and O'Hoppe was just like included.
yeah.
I feel like you kind of got nothing for O'Hoppe and you just kind of gave up on him. You're like, you know what? We're good. We're gonna go a different direction. Just have him. Like, just take him with you.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free on the plane tickets out of town. Like, it just
Yeah.
that to me was the Angels very much just quitting on him.
Yep. So I mean, and that would, you're not gonna send Jansen down. You're not gonna send Agashioka down. So there's just no spot. So yeah, maybe it was like the only way that you're getting Silseth is if you take O'Hoppe and the Rangers are like, fine, we'll just stash him in AAA. So I mean, makes sense.
Yeah,
So
you want the reliever, you got to take this guy too. Like that's the deal.
yeah. Yeah. John Temple says Rangers pen is trash.
Oh, it's bad.
It's the Angels. What did you expect from Silix? And Curtis has got the Rangers winning the AL West. I mean, possibly. I mean, still a couple days left to keep adding pieces here. So, and there are bullpen arms to be had. And if that's what the Rangers are looking for, I think they're going to have pretty much free reign on who they want. Now, there are obviously other teams looking for bullpen help, right? But there are some great bullpen pieces to be had. As much as we rag on the Mets for as bad as they were, they have some arms in that bullpen that can get shipped out, that can help a team. So, yeah, incredible. So, who's catching for the Angels now, Darno? I I don't know. Has to
That's a
be, right? It's a great question. I've been watching him too, and I haven't even realized who the catcher is.
I honestly, yeah, I don't know who the other catcher is, to be honest. Um, I mean, it has to be Darno. He's the only other guy on the or Taylor Heineman. They have Heineman.
Yes, it is Heineman.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did see Heineman the other day because he was
Yeah.
catching some when Hoppy was out.
Yeah. Wonder where Joe Adele is going then. Have to trade him now. Yeah, what so it's crazy. I was hearing the guys talking on clearing the bases last night. They were talking about Joe Adele and his defense. He has a negative defensive WAR. That's even after robbing 3 home runs in a game, right? But I guess taking a home run off the head also does that for you. But negative defensive WAR, is he tradable? Do you see Joe Adele leaving the Angels as well?
I think he's an easy guy to trade. I will say, if you watch enough Angels games, and for some reason I've caught quite a few of them lately because of who they've been playing, I've been interested in watching. He is not a good outfielder. Like he takes really weird routes on balls. Balls drop in that he should get, and his arm is erratic.
Yeah.
Um, he's a guy that has like that. He will make that incredible play that wows you, and then like you know miss a cutoff guy horribly to give a base, and then let a ball drop in he should have caught. It's frustrating to watch him because he's got the talent to do it. He just doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah.
But I think he's an easy guy to trade. Like he's a he's a perfectly okay outfielder. He's got some pop. There's some sizzle there. He can be exciting. There's a lot of there's a lot of right fielders I'd rather not play over him.
Yeah. Uh Phillies and Yankees. I mean, the Aaron Judge news is not good because like we haven't even heard anything on Aaron Judge, right? There's no injury updates and no news in baseball is bad news. That means
I was going to say,
we don't have a time.
was there an update that I didn't hear because I've heard nothing? It's been like crickets.
That's what I mean. Like that means there's no timetable, right? So I mean, do the Yankees go after an outfielder here to plug that Aaron Judge hole? Now, listen, you're not going to plug it. It's Aaron Judge for crying out loud, right?
Yeah,
You're not going to
fill
plug that hole. But is Joe Adele that guy? I know, and all the Phillies are looking for an outfielder as well. So, is Philly and New York maybe the landing spot for Adele?
I mean, he would probably be a lower cost option, depending on when you think a guy like Judge is back. Yeah, I mean the Phillies need help in the outfield just as a general statement.
Right.
So yeah, I think that if I found the Phillies, I'm calling on them.
Yep.
The Yankees, I don't know. I don't know if what they think about what they think is going on with Judge because again, like we're not hearing anything. Obviously, they probably know exactly what that timetable should look like. So if they make a move, it tells us everything we need to know.
Yeah. Curtis would rather have Shonwell or Detmers. Detmers is definitely gone.
Yeah.
Somebody will pay for Reed Detmers at the deadline. I know for a fact he's gone. Latest news on Neto, right? Apparently today the Red Sox, the Angels want Franklin Arias, right? Which is supposed to be our shortstop of the future.
Yep.
Would you pull the trigger on that deal?
I mean, Arias is just getting to AAA, right? And he literally just got there.
I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, he's probably a 2028 player.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he tears AAA apart. Um, I mean, if you get Neto, who's your shortstop for at least the next few years, you don't have a spot for Arias unless you're going to move him to second base. So it's one of those things where if you're going to go bring in a proven shortstop, it makes the young prospect shortstop kind of unnecessary. Unless you don't think you're going to hang on to Neto, in which case then you still need him. But if you're not going to hang on to Neto, then why make the trade at all?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think
Unpopular opinion. I'm not sold on Neto.
yeah, there's a lot of good to Neto's game. There's also some bad to his game. Like the strikeout numbers are astronomical. The contact's not good. He's got good pop. He plays, good defense. He's not like a, blow you away top tier shortstop. He's a notch below those guys, but he's still a very, very good MLB shortstop. But he's not He's not in that elite level.
He is a Trevor Story Jr.,
Mhm.
right? He is high strikeout, great defensively. Well, I mean, Story's kind of faded a little bit defensively,
Yeah.
but in his prime, he was good, right? When he was younger, can hit the ball a ton and is injury prone. Do
Yep.
I want another guy that is battling injuries like Neto? I don't know. I mean, for this year, I would. I right. I mean, I think Neto helps this lineup a lot. Right. We've been looking for the long ball to be a little bit more consistent. I think he would add some pop in that lineup. He would wear out the monster. He's a great fit right now, the way he's hitting for Fenway Park. But do you take a chance on the future? Not really sure. I go back and forth on it. I talked with one of my buddies back home, and I'm like, yeah, do it. Absolutely. Don't think about it. Just do it. And then I'm like, well, maybe not. Okay, yeah, do it. No, don't. Like I'm very back and forth with it. So I still don't really know.
Yeah, and I think the tough part is like, so Arias got to Portland last year, and looked way overmatched. Did not play great. I saw him play in Portland this year. He was incredible. I mean, he looked like a man amongst boys. He's been up in AAA for 4 games, so not
Yeah.
much of a sample set there. But he's a guy that's proven that he excels at every level. He just has a little bit of a breaking in time. So in reality, you're looking at he's probably going to finish the year in AAA this year, go back to AAA next year. I suspect he'll probably not have a great run at AAA this year as he adjusts. Then you'll see who he really is next year, which puts him on path for a 2028, arrival to Boston.
Yeah.
Are you willing to wait? Where do you think this team is?
Yeah. Interesting spot to be in for sure.
Yeah.
After the Curtis Mead fiasco, does anybody want to come to Boston?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's fair. I don't know. Crazy. But yeah, Angels definitely selling. Those pieces will be moved on Monday, if not before. But I bring up Monday because I will be on from 10 to 6 Monday. So come by and keep me company as we keep track of the trade deadline. And I hope there's more than 2 moves made. So I'm just not here for 6 hours talking to the universe. But anywho.
well, and I think it's worth mentioning too that the Angels brought in Mozeliak when they let Manasian go, and basically kind of gave Mozeliak, hey, you're the guy, run with this. Now it's Mozeliak's chance to go in there and flip that roster
Yeah.
and put his stamp on it. So you may see a mass exodus as he gets rid of the players that don't fit what he's trying to do and goes and finds the players that do.
It just shows you. I mean, we all know this, right? It just shows you how bad that Rendon contract completely handcuffed this organization, right? They couldn't sell, they couldn't buy, they had to get players off the scrap heap. I mean, free Alec Manoa for crying out loud to fill out your rotation, right? They just released him. I mean,
Bad.
that's how bad that contract screwed this organization. And it has been 7 years trying to get out from underneath that thing. They finally are. I'm with you. I think you see everybody go, right? Everything must go. We see Twins fire sale at the deadline last year, right? You want him, he's yours. You want him, he's yours. The only guy that's left standing is Mike Trout in the middle of the clubhouse. That's it. I could see something like that happening with the Angels here.
Yeah. And I think it would make sense. I mean, unfortunately, Perry Manasian was there for a while, and it's it's hard to admit defeat when you built the team a certain way and cast away all the pieces you brought in that you thought were going to work. It's really hard to, basically throw the flag on yourself, call it a failure, and gut the place.
Yeah.
It's really easy for Mozeliak to come in and say, "Hey, this is all garbage. Let's dump it," because it
Yeah.
wasn't the mess he made.
Yeah.
He's just coming to clean up somebody else's mess. So I do think there's there's the Rendon contract, which certainly set them back. But secondly, Manasian was never going to admit that he made the mess he made. He was going to continue to try to find ways to piece it together. Where Mozeliak's happy to come in and just strap C4 to the thing and blow it up.
Yeah.
And that's the difference of bringing in a fresh perspective.
Yeah, highlight says Mozeliak will finally look at pitching for the Angels. They've been all bats for years. And honestly, I think that's where you need to start at this point. I guess you have to start building around your arms that you got, right? And the Angels don't have any. So that's where I would start. Get one or two pitchers that are going to compete. Jose Soriano's an interesting piece. I mean, ever since the first 2 or 3 months of the year, he's kind of cooled off, right? He wasn't as dominant as he was to start the year. I mean, to start the year, he was lights out, but his ERA is starting to climb. Does he get moved? Maybe. Do you keep him to kind of have some sort of anchor ish type pitcher in your rotation and you go find other pieces? I think that's what I would do. I would keep Soriano as a kind of dependable question mark arm in your rotation and try to build around him and then just fire sale everybody else. I mean, possibly. But like we've been saying the last couple shows, like all these guys throw 98 to 100 now. So like it's kind of almost easy to find these guys that throw hard. Do you start building around bats? Do you start building around guys that can, I can't believe I'm going to say this, that are hitting 270 to 275, right? Do you find those guys as they become more rare across the league?
You mean unicorns? Those guys?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to depend on what direction Mozeliak wants to take this. I mean, he's gotten a lot of flack in the media for the Ohapi trade. Like I said, it feels like he just kind of gave up on him, and he did. I don't know what his overall plan is. If he's going to go after pitching, if he's going to retain anybody, or if he's just going to try to tear the thing down to the studs and start over. If I'm him, I'd like to have a couple of guys I can at least like rally around. You know, maybe Soriano's one of those guys. Maybe Neto ends up being one of those guys. I don't know, but you got to pick a few guys that are going to be the core you build around.
Yeah.
And then everything else is available for sale.
Yeah, Curtis says they want top prospects, which I mean every organization does, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will burn it all down. More of a restructuring than a rebuild.
I mean, they do have some talent. They just don't have any pitching.
Yeah,
like none.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Detmers is hotter than fish grease to a proven playoff teams that need pitching. Detmers is gone. They will for sure. He will be on a playoff roster for sure. He's out of Anaheim because a team will quote unquote overpay for Reed Detmers. He's a lefty, brings great stuff, and he'll be in a playoff rotation for sure. I agree with that. Ivan says within the next 5 years, we might see the first batting champion to hit under 300 in history. Yeah. I mean, we almost did last year. What was it? Trey Turner. Trey Turner was barely over 300.
It was like 305. Is that where he was?
No, I think he was less. I thought he was like 301 or something like that. Like it was, and then he like sat out the last game to stay above the 300 or something like that. It might have been 305, but for some reason 301 sticking in my head.
304.
304. Okay, both wrong.
Both the difference.
It is what it is. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. They're going to be interesting, but I do see a version of the Twins fire sale last year at the deadline for the Angels. So we will see.
I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, if you're going to start over, now's the time, and just do it big.
Yep, agree. All right, let's kind of just go over like latest MLB buzz and rumors and all of that stuff. What else have you heard out there, Harrison?
Oh, I feel like it's all the same rumors just recirculating. You know, the Mets want to trade everybody. You know, the same Angels players. The Skubal talk. I really haven't heard anything new outside of that, of the stuff we've already heard.
Yeah. Mason Miller. Now, I know we talked about possibly, you know, getting Xander Bogaerts attached to that. Does that actually happen? Does Mason Miller actually move? Where does he go? Do the Yankees pay for Mason Miller? I've heard rumors of the White Sox checking in on Mason Miller.
Yeah.
So where does Mason Miller go?
I mean, earlier today, the Brewers apparently had checked in on Mason Miller. I
Yep.
think that, I mean, based on Mason Miller's, I mean, he's still under control. He's still affordable. You'd be crazy not to check in on him.
Right.
I mean, every team that thinks they're in contention should be calling to find out what it would take to get him.
Mm-hmm. So where does he go?
Man, I don't know, because there's so many teams that have been connected to him. I'm not sure who can actually put the package together that they want. I mean, obviously the usual suspects come to mind. You know, the Yankees would probably love another back end of the bullpen arm. Not sure that he's necessarily in their plan. Um, that the Dodgers thought they had Edwin Diaz until they didn't. You know, they've been able to make it work. I don't know. I mean, I'd love the idea of the Brewers getting him. Could you imagine Mason Miller at the back end of that bullpen? Holy cow!
Yeah.
I don't have a strong sense of where he's going to go.
Yep. Oh, Ivan's got us on the 304. Trey hit 304. 301 sticks in your head because that's the record for lowest batting champ. Your boy, yes, that's right. Thank you, Ivan. Look at that. We have our own statistician backing us up. I love this, man. Awesome.
Yep.
We don't even have to pay him. And don't ask Ivan. We don't have anything to give you. Anyways, we got this one is interesting. I have heard this one, Ryan. The catcher's market is hot.
Yeah.
Like teams need catchers. Red Sox need somebody that can hit something, because they don't. I mean, Connor Wong, yes, he ran into one last night or night before in Sacramento, but he's been nothing. They've gotten 9 home runs out of that position all year. Red Sox need it. Yankees need it. Catching is needed across the board. I have heard Herrera's name come up, but is Herrera a catcher? Is he more of a DH guy? I know he can catch, but is he more of a DH spot for somebody? Or are they just so hard up for catching out there that, it's like, hey, you're getting traded here and you're catching every day?
Well, and I think the rumor about Herrera started after the asking price for Goodman got leaked. Because apparently the asking price for Goodman is multiple players.
Yeah.
And they want a top prospect. Like, they want somebody's top prospect. And there was talk about that would be, they've talked to the Rays, so they'd want Theo Gillen. They've talked to the Red Sox, so they'd want Franklin Arias. And they won't accept less than that. So if that's what Goodman's getting, Herrera's not going to get a lot less. So I think that's the only reason that Herrera's name popped up, is that the Cardinals kind of going, oh, really? Is that what the asking price is? Because if that's the case, we might have a guy.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it says right here the Cardinals already have Pages, Herrera, Jimmy Crooks, and then they have this kid Bernal and Rodriguez coming. So they got a plethora of catching coming up. So maybe moving him and getting something that the Cardinals need going forward would be smart, with the catching pool as hot as it is, right? I mean, again, it's one of those positions that a team could possibly overpay for if they're getting a substantial upgrade.
Well, and right now, apparently the Red Sox and Yankees are the two teams that are, kind of working the phones the hardest about a catcher.
Yes.
Which is funny, because we all thought Carlos Narvaez in Boston was going to be, potentially the guy.
Yeah. Defensively,
Red Sox got nothing out of the catcher position.
No, defensively, I love them, but you've gotten zero. That's a black hole. It's an automatic out in the lineup.
Brutal.
So, yeah, it's not great. Curtis says the bullpen's fine. I would sell Duvall for a donut. We have a fool for a manager. Today is Exhibit A. We don't need to get into the manager because we've been there.
Yeah, we know. We're aware of who it is.
Yeah. Ivan says Yankees should take Miller and Bogarts and give San Diego whatever they want. I'll take both of them. It will revitalize Xander and give him purpose, and Miller saves a starting rotation when you add him to Hedrick, Cruz, and Bednar. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would take on that Bogarts contract. It's almost automatic turn off for me for Mason Miller if that does indeed come attached.
Yeah, if I have to take Bogarts, I'm probably not interested because that's
Yep.
just such an albatross.
Yep.
And Mason
Boston,
Miller could be gone in 2 years or three
right.
years, but I got Bogarts for like friggin' 8 more.
Yeah. Boston needs more than a catcher. Sorry, boys. We would agree. That's why we
Yeah.
started seeing the trades, and then some guy had to plunk one of them, break his arm. So that's cool.
Yeah. So apparently on Goodman, it's the Rays, Red Sox, and Yankees that are the most aggressive talking to the Rockies.
Dude, bring me Hunter Goodman if that's even possible. But
Yeah.
I think I just I don't see him moving from Colorado. I don't see them getting the package that they want that would put them steps ahead of where they are now. If it makes the Colorado Rockies better, right? We trade Goodman away and it makes us better for next year, you do it, right? Because the Rockies are taking baby steps going forward. But if I'm just trading Hunter Goodman to have the same record that I had this year, there's no point in me trading my top guy, right? But if it does indeed make me better or put me in a position to be better next year, I do it because again, that's another step forward for the Rockies. But I just don't see a deal out there that would do that. You're subtracting a 30 and 100 guy out of your lineup, potentially a 40 and 120 guy, I would say eventually out of your lineup. How does that make you better in the future? The answer is it doesn't. So I don't see the Rockies pulling the trigger on that. Some team would have to absolutely blow their socks off. No pun intended there either. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis wants no part of that Bogarts contract. I'm with you. No thanks. Yeah, Colorado has been good trading partners with the Yankees for sure. Joseph, we've talked about trading Skubal a little bit at the beginning of the show. We can bring it back up for sure. For me, I think it's Brewers number 1, Dodgers number 2. Braves are going to sneak in there too. They need pitching desperately, and the Rays have the prospect package. It's one of those 4 teams, right? Would you agree with that? It's got to be one of those 4.
It seems like those are the 4 most in at this point. Yeah. Yeah, there could be that surprise team out there that we haven't thought about that pops up at the last minute and grabs them, but it
I
seems like
mean,
those are the 4 that are working the hardest.
Astros need pitching. Do they check in?
Um, on Skubal, probably not, but I know they're actively shopping that next tier.
Yeah.
They're working the phones on guys like Detmers and Peralta. I don't know that Skubal is the guy that they're that enamored with.
Yeah. Also, reports for Astros. I know Marty said it earlier in the show and didn't quite get to it because we had a whole bunch of stuff come in at that same time. Is George Springer from the Blue Jays kind of reuniting with Houston? But again, another guy that's injured. He would have to be your DH, so you're not putting him out in the outfield, I don't think, especially with injuries histories. But do they think about reuniting Springer back in Houston?
I mean, it's an interesting move. I mean, right now Springer's been linked to a lot of teams. So have Barshow, Gosman. I mean, the Blue Jays are full on
Yeah.
sell mode.
Yeah.
It's and apparently they've talked a lot with the Phillies about a package that could include multiple players because the Phillies have a variety of needs and the Blue Jays can fill a lot of them. So you could see a multiplayer package worked out between those two to try to fill some additional holes.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, Alvarez is DH, but I'm just I get that, Marty. But do you trade for Springer and you put him out in the outfield with the injuries, and he's not the defensive player he once was, right? So is there a spot for George Springer to go? I don't know. I don't know if it's a nice story to have George Springer back in Houston, but is there a fit? Is there a need for him? I don't know if there is.
Yeah, can you find a home for him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Alvarez is not a good outfielder. Springer's at the point in his career he's probably really not a great outfielder anymore. You probably don't want either of those guys patrolling the outfield on a daily basis.
Yeah. Um Stay outfield in Houston is awful. Well,
Yeah, and
okay, maybe
those guys wouldn't help it.
yeah. Well, maybe Springer is an upgrade then. I don't know how awful that outfield is, but
Yeah.
kind of staying with the Tigers. Casey Mize, his name's been brought up a lot. Does the team kind of check in on him? And would he be a playoff arm as well?
I think he absolutely could be. I think it depends on what the Tigers view as his future. If you trade Skubal, is a guy like Mai somebody you'd commit to hang on, or is is he on the way out because you got a bunch of young arms coming? I don't know. I think the teams should be calling on Mize. Whether the Tigers view him as a guy they can get rid of or not, I don't know. But he would look good in some playoff rotations.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ivan, this is more my point. You guys always say it more eloquently than I do. Springer's 36. He can't play the outfield the way he used to play it. His speed is diminished. I don't think he's an upgrade anywhere. And thank you. You guys just all seem to put it in quicker words than I can. So love it. But yeah, essentially I'm with you. Yeah,
Springer's clutch. Springer,
yeah.
that's what he is. He brings you a clutch playoff bat.
Mm-hmm. If he's healthy. So, yeah. Michael says Casey Mize and Michael Wacha to Atlanta. Those two work for me. Atlanta needs serious help in that rotation. If they have
those are guys that actually make their starts too, that helps.
Yes. I mean, Wacha doesn't excite you, but like you said, he's there, right? And he can get guys out. He's kind of had a bounce back year, and it's better than what the Braves have right now. Braves are scrounging for starting pitching right now. So, yeah.
Well, and I think in fairness to Michael Wacha, this is a guy who his ERA the last 5 years has been 3.32, 3.22, 3.35, 3.86, 3.60, and he's made 24 plus starts each year. Yep. I mean, he's one of those guys that he doesn't excite you, but he's damn effective. I mean,
he's a professional.
He's a professional. Yeah. I mean, the guy was, remember in Boston, he was 11-2, then 14-4 in San Diego, 13-8 in KC. I mean, he has racked up some good seasons.
I completely forgot he pitched in Boston. Completely so
good. Up. Then he got hurt.
Yeah.
And then came back in San Diego and was even better the next year.
Yep. Dang. Yeah. Other catchers' names that have been thrown around: Tyler Stevenson, Jonah Heim, Francisco Alvarez. Do we see any of those guys get moved?
I mean, I think that if there's a trading partner for them, yes. I think that the catcher position right now is so thin that teams will take chances on some of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. It's catching is brutal. So, I mean, White Sox, right? You got the Kyle Teal injury. He's pretty much done. They're in the market for a catcher as well. Will Smith with the Dodgers, right? He's here, there. So, and he's injured. Do the Dodgers go after another catcher, or are they okay with Dalton Rushing there?
I mean, I think the question is, are his teammates okay with Dalton Rushing being there? That guy seems to be a bit of a lightning rod.
But he's damn good, man. Every time I tune into a Dodgers game, it's like he's got 2 or 3 hits, and it's like, God dang.
He is. He just seems like he's an absolute pain in the head, but he gets it done.
Yeah. So yeah, catching market's gonna be very interesting this weekend, and on Monday to see actually what happens, which, in the grand scheme of things, probably means nothing is going to happen. So
yeah,
we'll see.
That might actually be the most active position of any of them will be catcher. I think it feels like everybody's looking for a catcher.
Right. I mean, other than obviously relief pitchers, which always go at the deadline. I mean, that's that, right? But yeah, the Cubs are saying Carson Kelly is available. Interesting there.
Yeah, they said that today.
Huh. All right.
They're also willing to trade guys like Matt Shaw and all that if for major league pieces.
I mean, Cubs are another one of those teams that need to take another step forward for sure, right? And Maybe they get it at the deadline. We'll see. If Teal is out, I think the White Sox are all in on Hunter Goodman. What's a package they can offer?
I don't. Again, I think the White Sox are in a spot where, they weren't supposed to be here yet. They've got young guys they're trying to figure out. I don't know if they're in a spot where they want to make any crazy splashes and move a bunch of prospects out. But if you can get a guy like Hunter Goodman, I think you have to ask the question of what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah, if the Rockies come to you and be like, you want Goodman, and I'm the White Sox, I'm saying name your price, and here you go.
Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah.
Because I might. Yeah, so the Cubs had said that they're talking about potentially trading players off the roster like Matt Shaw, Pedro Ramirez, Carson Kelly, looking for pitching.
Yeah.
And the Twins are still listening on Jeffers. If they can address another area of need like the bullpen, they would still move on from a guy like Jeffers.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's dumb for the Twins to just shut the door on that, right? Like,
Yep.
Keep the conversations coming. So, yeah, I agree. Anybody else that we haven't touched on that we think we talked about him last show. I was gonna say Bo Bichette and Mets and all that stuff. I think that's a full fire sale over there, so we don't have to really get into the Mets. CJ Abrams market heat up at all? Do you think? You think he ultimately stays?
I think he ultimately stays. I mean, the way Taboni put it, it's like, we don't want to trade him. We're not looking to trade him, but we'll listen. But they view him as a cornerstone franchise piece that they aren't necessarily feeling the need to trade.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. We will see. I can't really think of anybody else that could possibly get moved. I think the positions to really look at this deadline is teams are looking for a shortstop, teams are looking for a catcher. Otherwise than that, there's just a few teams that are a couple pieces away. And we'll get to that in one of our questions coming up. But
yeah, so here's one I did hear that I'd be curious your take. So obviously the Reds they're thinking about being sellers and with some guys that are on expiring contracts. So Brady Singer, Tyler Stevenson, Suarez, Burke, Bleday. However, one name that has come out as of today is Hunter Green.
mm-hmm.
The Reds are getting significant interest in him. And the comment from Rosenthal was they're not particularly motivated to deal Green, but for the right package, they would. So they are listening. They're not shopping him, but they are listening to what teams would offer. Because if there's enough juice there, they would make that move.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this last night. I can't even remember who now. I got so many conversations going on off the air. I can't even remember who, but Hunter Green is a liability for me. We are a guy that can't stay on the field. I don't know if I can in good faith give a substantial package to the Reds and get what I want out of Hunter Green. Is he incredible talent? Yes. The dude is nasty. But we don't make many starts. We haven't made many starts. So are you good?
I think I have a smoke detector going off. Be right back.
Okay. Yeah, for me, Hunter Green is a tough one. He hasn't made enough starts in his career because of injuries. So for Hunter Green, I am I don't know if I can give up big packages for Hunter Green. Let's see how many career starts we have gotten. We have made 95 starts in 5 years. Is that what you're looking for? Guy that can't even make 20 starts a season? I don't know. Yeah, a lot of buyers, small amount of sellers. I'm with you, Curtis. It's a tough one, and I think that's why ultimately I've been saying it for a while. I think this trade deadline becomes kind of a dud, just because the asking price is through the roof. So for me, I think it's a dud. Um, but yeah. Ivan says Washington got Abrams in the Soto trade, right? You got James Wood in that trade along with the lefty there, right? Not Patrick Corbin, Mackenzie Gore. So they got a lot of good guys back for that, but you have to build around him and Wood. Trading him now is just giving away top value. He's leading the majors in RBIs right now. He's hitting 292 and he's 25. Yeah, I think for me though, with Abrams, is if the Nationals think that this is a flash in the pan, right? This is the highest he's hit in his entire career. Is this an outlier season and what you had before? What he usually is, or is this who he is? Is he growing into the superstar that he could become? Possibly. You also have the casino stuff with Abrams last year. I don't know if you guys remember that. So, I mean, maybe there's some stuff behind the scenes there, but it sounds like they're listening but not shopping. So, I don't know. Does Abrams have more of an upside? He's having a great year. Do you sell high or do you ride him out? It's interesting spot to be in for him for sure. Yeah, Green is definitely a liability because his worst ability is availability. Yeah, 1,000% with you for sure. Mets said every player is on the table except McLean. The Orioles have said the same thing about Gunnar and Basaya. Yeah, yeah. There's obviously guys on every team, every seller team that are untouchable. McLean, I'm definitely not trading if I'm the Mets. You got to keep that rotation, the anchor for that rotation there. And he's too young. Well, yeah, and Juan Soto, right? You're not going to trade Juan Soto. Impossible to move. He might end up opting out after year 5, anyways. But we'll see what happens. The Nats have their shortstop of the future in the minors, and Abrams is just a holdover till then. So maybe we see him go in the next couple years. But interesting. We'll see. Who else you guys got? Ryan Taylor wants Hunter Green right now. I mean, he's a great pitcher, man. I'm not taking anything with him, but he can't make enough starts, and that's where I stand with Hunter Green. But I mean, if I'm the Reds, I'm looking at that too. What has he given me the last 5 years? If you're giving me something that's going to make us better for the future, then boom, he's yours. So I don't blame them. All right. Anybody else that you guys can think of that we could see get moved? See how on fire this show is. You got Harrison Smoke Detector on blast. Well, he's not back, so I hope everything's okay there. That would be horrendous. But yeah, let's talk about John Temple's Mariners. Where do you guys think these Mariners go? What do you think they do? You know, we've heard George Kirby's name come up. I ultimately think he doesn't go, but goodness gracious, that team needs bats. What are you guys thinking about the Mariners? Do they try to do anything at the deadline? I mean, I know they did the Naylor and Suarez deal last year, but do they do anything at the deadline here to try to get some separation in the AL West? What do you guys think about the Mariners? I mean, Luis Castillo, definitely on the block. That's been a name that we've heard forever. Emerson Hancock's got they've been listening on him. What do the Mariners do? Emerson Hancock, Luis Castillo. Is everything all right, Harrison?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So one of the smoke detectors went off. I'm pretty sure it came from the boys' room. Probably just teenage boy. Probably the scent that set it off. But we're
yeah.
good. Got to love a live show, right?
Yeah, right. John Carter goes, see how on fire this show is? You got Harrison's smoke detector on blast. And then if we start seeing flames on this camera, I'll
Yeah,
retract my
yeah,
joke.
yeah. Then it's not so funny.
Yeah. Does Cal Raleigh even exist anymore? I haven't heard his name since October. And the answer to that is no.
I mean, he
Like,
still exists, but like not the same way.
yeah. He's a shell of himself, worse than a shell of himself. And we've said it the last few shows, he's injured, but um, it's Castillo and Emerson Hancock are the two names I've heard. George Kirby, I've definitely heard as well. John Temple's chiming in here. We go, I don't know. I say they trade Castillo, a Rosarina, Kirby, and JP. Tell Cal to get surgery on the oblique and bring up some of the kids and just deal with the rest of the season. So John's kind of willing to cash it in to hopefully set them up for next year. Do the Mariners do that though?
I mean, I'm kind of with John. I don't. The Mariners are not that close. This is not like go get a bat and you've got your problem solved. Like this might be a good opportunity for them to, plan for the future. Last year was fun. Cal
Yeah.
Raleigh chased history, and you've got you got a team that gave you all the feels that they were going to make a run. Got the fan base energized, and then fell apart this year. And
Yeah.
maybe it's time to be like, well, let's do something different.
Yeah. And Scott, we're with you, right? Definitely disappointed in the Mariners. If I'm the Mariners, I hold pat and hope somebody gets hot, or just hope to get hot in general.
Yeah, if I'm the Mariners, I'm either going to sell some pieces off that really aren't part of the plan to make room for some of those young guys, or I'm just
Yeah.
going to ride it out. I
Yeah.
mean, that you're not being a buyer makes no sense.
Right. Ivan said the Mariners should sell and add to their top 3 farm system and prepare for the future. They have no chance of doing anything. And I was right about Raleigh. I said he was a one-hit wonder last year. And I don't know if I'm ready to put him in one-hit wonder status yet, just because of this oblique injury, right? Obliques, that we have seen oblique injuries just wreak havoc on guys' seasons, right? And then they rest during the offseason and they come back and they're back to their old form. Now, I'm not saying old form of Cal Raleigh is 60 homers, Cal Raleigh.
No.
But I think that has been it. Yeah, I think that has been hindering him quite a bit.
But it begs the question of like when did the oblique issues start? Because like this is the same guy that was like for the WBC.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I
fair.
mean it's been rough for him since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, yeah, and John Carter, he was 34 and 100 the year before. So yeah, I mean, maybe the 60 is you want to call it a one-hit wonder, right? Because this is more of the Cal I was expecting this year, right? We guessed like 35 to 45 homers. Like you're gonna have a 15 to 20 home run decrease naturally, right? Because pitchers aren't going to allow him to beat them like he did last year. So
Yeah,
I just
you get pitched to a lot differently coming off a season like that,
right, and
rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like I don't pitch to Aaron Judge when I don't have to. I don't, because it's leaving the yard, right? I don't pitch to Yordan Alvarez unless I have to, because that's also leaving the yard quickly. That dude hits absolute rockets. So I don't know if I can put him in one-hit wonder category, but like I can kind of see it, right? Like he's not going to hit 60 home runs again in his career. So is that considered a one-hit wonder? But I would think a one-hit wonder is he had seasons like he's having now before that, and he didn't. So I don't know if I would put him in that
Yeah, no, I
specific
mean
category.
that season was definitely a one-off. He'll never do
Right.
that again. But I mean, Cal was one of the he was in that elite level of catchers.
Yeah. Might be the dumbest message of the night, Greg says, but with how in demand catchers are, what if they start shopping Cal?
I think
Ugh.
I think he'd be impossible to trade right now, given the questions about his health and the season that he's having. I don't think anybody wants to touch touch that trade with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's untradeable just because of the injuries for sure. And
And if I'm the Mariners, like I know this isn't Cal. Like
right.
this is a bad season. Like we got the best season ever from him last year. This is his worst season ever. We're going to average a 2 out and call it okay. And then and then move on to next year where hopefully he's back to his usual self where he's hitting 30 plus and driving at 100.
Yeah. So
But if you see this from him again next year, then you've
now
got to wonder what the hell happened.
yep. I agree fully. So all right. Let's move on to some out of left field discussion topics, Harrison. I got a few of them for you. I think they're fairly quick discussion points, but thought they were interesting questions to bring up. So here we go with the first one. Should we stop valuing pitchers the way we do with the amount of Tommy Johns happening? Now, I bring this up because you brought it up last show, and we talked about how these arms are now just kind of a dime a dozen. Everybody's throwing 98 to 102 now. So, should we stop valuing pitchers the way we do with the amount of injuries that all of these guys inevitably are going to miss time for?
Yes. I think what you're going to see is I think you're going to see the market separate into kind of three different segments. You're going to have your top tier elite guys. Those are your best of the best. Those are the guys signing the huge contracts. But they're the guys that are making 28 to 34 starts a year with nasty stuff consistently. The guys that don't miss a lot of time. Those guys are the unicorns. And they're the guys that you give all the money to. Then you're going to have that second tier pitcher that takes a significant pay cut from those guys. The guys like the Glassnows of the world that are more your higher risk speculative guys. And I'm going to pay those guys a lot less because I'm going to get a lot less. And then you're going to see I have that third tier, not very far below them, who are kind of more your journeyman guys, who you're going to just pile in. Because we're now it used to be the bullpen. You'd say, bring me every arm you got and I'll make a bullpen out of it. That's going to become your starting rotation. I got one guy I can count on. And I'm going to need like 7 or 8 other guys to get me through the year. So I'm going to need to pile arms in. I need one guy I can anchor to who I know is going to be there. I need another couple of guys who are high-end talent with some risk. And then I need a bunch of depth guys for when those guys go down and some of those other guys go down. But I got my one horse I can ride. And I think that's how you're going to see it built. It's going to be, here's my ace. And he is the stud that I put everything behind. Here's my second tier guys that I hope I get half to 3/4 of the season out of. And then here's a bunch of other guys that are ready to go. And I will find a rotation there somewhere.
Yeah, the guys that just filter through that 5 spot. So, yeah,
Yep.
I agree. John Carter says no, but stop valuing velocity like we do and start valuing command again. That would be nice.
They won't do it, though.
No.
The trend is velocity. It's strikeouts. That's what they want because everybody wants every team wants to see the other team make less contact. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, it's because they can't play defense anymore. So
correct.
Highlight says somebody smart will go back to the days when pitchers like Greg Maddux were important. Durability is more important than strikeouts. Give me a staff of soft tossers who get weak contact. And the first team that does that, right? We kind of saw it with the Brewers last year, kind of flip the script and start playing baseball again, right? With the small ball. They were bunting. They were putting pressure on defenses. There was countless times last year that I saw the Brewers just put the ball in play and the other team just throw it all over I can't even say diamond. I'd say all over the field. I mean, you see balls going to center, up the right field line. I mean, like no team can play a bunt defense anymore. A simple bunt defense. You don't see it. So put the ball in play, put the pressure on the defense. I do think at some point we will see a team do that. We've wanted the Rockies to play chaos ball. Like, what else do you have to lose? Just do it. You guys have the field for it. You guys have some speed demons on that team. Just put the ball in play. Put the pressure on them. So I think eventually, yeah, you will. But I just, yeah, I don't know. I think we will start to see that pendulum swing because that's what baseball does, right? It comes in waves. The offense comes in waves. The pitchers make the adjustment. The hitters make the adjustments. Like it always does, ebb and flow. But velocity's here to stay for a while, I think.
Well, it is because this is a generational thing. Like every kid right now is being taught velocity. Until you start teaching them different at a younger age, because what translates to the major leagues has changed, you're going to keep getting velocity.
Right.
The minor leagues right now, you saw a guy the other day, Nick, that threw damn near 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I mean, the minor leagues are just full of guys that throw absolute gas.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of crafty control guys around anymore because nobody wants them.
No.
Until you change what Major League Baseball likes and start coaching kids to go back to that, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get a bunch of guys that just throw hard. I mean, I was watching a couple of clips the other day from a 16 or 15U baseball tournament, and there's a kid at 15 throwing 98.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's like, and you watching his mechanics like made my arm hurt watching him. Like that kid's gonna have a Tommy John before he's 18.
He's probably already had one.
He probably, who knows, probably has. Like we're now seeing Tommy Johns happening in high school. We're seeing more kids under the age of 18 getting Tommy Johns before they go to college because of the strain they're putting on their arms, and it's just, and like you called it, it's just an oil change, They just keep. That's fine. I'll miss a year and I'll come back.
Yeah. I mean, it was wild. I went to Winston-Salem Dash Greensboro Grasshoppers game. They're high A, right? I mean, that's next to the lowest level you can get. And there's a kid for the Greensboro Grasshoppers, Seth Hernandez. Great stuff, but he's throwing 100 plus with wipeout sliders. And it's just like, holy smokes, man.
Yep.
Like, and he's sitting in single A, just waiting to develop. And it's just crazy. And this is the thing, right? Is I think they're being taught to throw. They're not being taught to pitch. And I think that's the difference at the moment. But like Tyler Glass now says, like I have in this picture, velocity pays. I don't care if I get hurt doing it. I have a guaranteed contract. Velocity pays. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Did you speaking of which, did you see the article and the story that Tim Kirkjian did a couple days ago?
No.
So hitters this year are getting hit at the highest rate ever. And a lot of theories to that, but what it all boils down to is the fact that one, command is gone. Like command is at an all-time low. Strike versus ball ratios are all out of whack. Strikeout to walk ratios are all out of whack. General command is gone. Guys are just throwing hard with no idea where it's going. But two, and Mike Trout said it. He said, it's different in the box now. I don't have time to get out of the way anymore.
Right.
I used to see a fastball coming at 95. I had time to move. At 104, I ain't got time to react. I'm getting hit. If that thing's coming at me, I don't have the time to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And that was kind of Kirkjian's whole thesis is command is gone. And these batters stand no chance of getting out of the way when that pitch is coming in that hard. And so you're seeing more HVPs, also seeing a lot more injuries, Curtis Mead, from hit by pitches because you're seeing sensitive areas hit because you don't have a chance to get out of the way to block them. Like normally where Mead got hit, you would have turned and taken that off the back of the arm. He got it off the wrist because it kind of handcuffed him and he had no time to bail.
Right. Yeah, you can't even take it off the padding because you don't have time to react to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another, kind of effect of velocity is not enough command creates, more potential injuries because guys are getting plunked because they can't get out of the way.
So what do you do to fix it?
You've got to change what you want until you start paying command guys or, scouting for command guys or developing command guys, you won't get it. I mean, look back to the days of Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez. those guys could throw 97, 98, 99 whenever they needed to. But most of the game they lived in the low 90s because they just didn't have to.
Right.
But that's also why they pitch 7 or 8 innings, which none of
Yeah.
these guys do. Because
And,
now baseball values it used to be outs were good. Any out was good. Now it's strikeouts are good. Any other outs not as good.
right. Michael, I love this. I think this is a great comparison. Are pitchers the baseball version of running backs in the NFL? Expendable.
Yep.
Next guy up. Yeah,
They are.
absolutely.
You can't I mean, was it the Braves last year that by the All-Star break had 5 entirely different guys in the rotation where they started the year?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're seeing that more and more where you've got multiple guys out of a rotation at any given time. You can't build a 5-man rotation anymore. We talk, going back to like the 85 World Series. Even Charlie said, like, we made all of our starts, we pitched deep into games, like that's just what we did.
yeah,
That doesn't exist anymore.
yeah. He said that what, had 8 pitchers on their staff
Yeah.
on that roster.
And
8.
all 5 guys, they made all their starts. All 5 guys made all their starts. They pitched in the 7th or 8th inning. Like you didn't need all this other stuff.
And only 2 guys came out of the bullpen. One guy didn't even pitch.
Right.
Like, I mean, only 7 pitchers got you through a 7-game series, right?
Yep.
Obviously, completely different game now, right? 40 years later, but still wild to think about. Wild.
But I'm convinced that if somebody goes out there that can throw strikes and change speeds, you can still win games in the low 90s, even in the high 80s. But the problem is these guys don't throw enough strikes anymore.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you get a guy like that that's throwing, 85 with a 78-mile-an-hour changeup. You're just going to be screwing these batters into the ground. They're not going to know what to do with that, right? Will they make the adjustment and time them up? Yes, eventually, right? They're professional hitters. These guys, we say, could time up a bullet, right?
Yep.
And maybe that's when the adjustment happens. When these hitters see this velocity over and over and over, and Jacob Mizorowski isn't an outlier anymore, right? And they completely get their timing. Do we see, I think John Temple say it, do we see the velocity tick back down and trend the other way? Right? Possibly. And this is the other thing, Curtis, right? The game is overanalyzed and over specialized, which leads to this. Yeah. Well, right, Michael. If you're going to throw low 90s, you better hit your spots and have movement. Yeah, agree. So,
yeah, because I think in the day of the HLP hitting technique and the bat through the zone, the launch angle, I think if a guy just could throw strikes and change speeds consistently, it doesn't matter how hard they're throwing. Guys would struggle with it.
Yeah. John Temple says Mike Trout's interviewed during the All-Star game talking about if a common person off the street could even foul a ball at 104 and 100 at bats. Trout laughed and said once or twice if they're lucky. Yeah, that's if the bat is out there already and the pitch accidentally hits it. There's no way a common guy off the street gets in the box against Mason Miller and has a prayer. Yep. No, there's no way. Even right now, like me, I was a college baseball player. I know what it looks like. I'm not confident I could foul one off Mason Miller.
I mean, in 100 at bats, I sure would, but in 5 or 10, maybe not, because you're going from 104 to 85. There's a guy that does videos off one of those TrackMan pitching machines that imitates the pitchers, and he did 5 at bats against Mason Miller. He was 1 for 5 with 4 Ks and a home run. And that was his thing. Like, it's all or nothing with this velocity. Either I'm hitting this thing 450 feet or I'm not hitting it at all.
I don't think he has that thing jacked up either, but that's a different. I
don't know. Watching the velocity that thing was coming in at, holy cow!
I don't know.
Football is cooking.
And anyways, yeah, but I don't have confidence I could foul one off him. There's no way. You could tell me 104 is coming. I don't think I could touch it.
It's just so crazy fast.
Yeah. So, I would think a small market franchise that can't afford to have injuries will go back to a control staff. I agree, but I think you also have to have the ballpark for it, right? Like the Colorado Rockies can't just bring in a whole bunch of control guys. those balls are going to go 550 feet.
Can you even find control guys? Like,
Well, right, and that's the other thing. When are the control guys coming?
right?
What generation just decides to come up and be like, yeah, I'm going to be a control guy?
Yeah. Are these control guys in the room with you? Like, where could they be found?
Yeah,
Because I don't think they exist anymore. I mean, they've become unicorns. You know, and just like the high batting average guys has appeared because everything's drop and drive. This is actually probably the best time to be a control guy because these launch angle loft guys, these are the guys that would struggle. They're waiting for you to make a mistake over the middle of the plate at 100 miles an hour.
yeah,
If you don't throw that pitch and you're dotting the edges, they're not going to touch it.
right. Yeah. Yeah, Ivan says change up, safer to throw as well, and arguably the best pitch in baseball because it's just a
Yeah.
manipulation of the grip and not unnecessary pressure on your elbow. Throw 100 and throw a change up instead of a slider or curve. Save your elbow, get swings and misses. Yeah, I mean, they're saying now it's not even necessarily the breaking balls. You know, like when we were kids, like we weren't allowed to throw curveballs because it's gonna hurt your elbow.
Yeah.
And that's not even the case now. It is just the max velocity alone, just putting the extra stress on the UCL and just shredding them because it's not made to handle that. Like that ligament is just not made to handle that stress. And that's why top tennis players have tennis elbow. It's the same thing.
Well,
They're
and
hitting
then
these
you
balls so hard, it's just the ligament's not made for it.
yeah, and then you combine that with the fact that the ball itself doesn't have a lot of grip, so that you're using more grip pressure to hold it. So now you're creating tension on the elbow coming through and also through the forearm and holding your grip.
Yeah.
It's a bad combination.
Yep. That's why they're saying about the splitters too, because the splitters you're gripping that ball, but you're splitting the tendons, which also goes physiologically different down your forearm and puts extra stress on ligaments as well. So I don't know the answer. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do, but overall, we should stop valuing these guys, right, with the amount of injuries. Correct.
Yep. Yeah, the starting pitcher does not have nearly as much value anymore because you just know you can't get a full season out of them.
Right. And the next guy's coming up anyways. So
Yeah, you gotta pay 10 guys to get 5.
yeah. So all right, next one. With expanded playoffs and expansion on the horizon, has the current regular season games lost its meaning?
I wouldn't say they've lost their meaning. But I think there's a little bit less pressure to, win at all costs in May when you know that there's enough playoff room or enough playoff spots where, you just have to not be terrible. So I think that some of that pressure and that need to win fades a little bit when you've got more breathing room. I think the flip side of it though is with more teams in it, I think it makes for more exciting baseball in August and September than it used to be. Because it used to be where you'd have 6 teams making the playoffs or 4 teams making the playoffs, and many of them are locked up in early September, and teams are so far away they may not have been eliminated, but they are basically eliminated,
Right.
and it made September kind of boring. Like everybody's out of it. You'd expand the rosters, you play a bunch of kids, like the games didn't matter anymore. September baseball was kind of crappy. Now September baseball is actually really exciting because that's when everybody realizes, holy crap, we can do this. And we've
Yeah.
seen the Tigers go on that crazy heater, the
That's
Guardians go
insane.
on a crazy heater. We've seen some really interesting ends of the season.
Epic collapses by the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think if we're talking about the quote unquote meaning, yes, right? Like because it's watered down, right? More teams make the postseason. So if we're talking about like regular season games actually mattering, then yes, it's lost its meaning. But to you, I agree. It has made baseball more competitive for deeper into the season than it ever had before. So we get some of that meaning back. right? Because it's just there's more competition for longer, and sometimes all the way up to the end of the day. So we have highlight says, "I hope not. The beauty of baseball is the long season with the streaks of wins and losses." Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, totally agree.
John Temple says the good teams can coast and just get in and set themselves up for their own success.
Well, we watched the Dodgers do that. Was it last year? Where basically in September they
Yeah,
basically sat everybody.
yeah. Will Smith had a broken hand and he was out for the season, and then he was on the opening day roster for the playoffs. It's like, oh, okay,
That was
oh, yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. So John Carter says lost their meaning when we went to the balanced schedule, more division games, less interleague. Yeah, I mean that's not going away, right? I mean I get what you're saying, and I think you're on board with me with this, but they love interleague, and I mentioned this a few episodes ago. As a Red Sox fan, 15, 20 years ago, I was never going to be able to watch Shohei Ohtani ever.
No.
Like I wouldn't have been able to. I couldn't buy a ticket to Fenway at any point during the season to watch Shohei Ohtani. Now, every other year, the Dodgers come to Fenway and I have a chance to go watch Shohei Ohtani. Without interleague, that doesn't happen. So if you're growing the game and continuing to grow the game because you are making these superstars visible to everybody, then interleague is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I think that was the biggest impact into starting this interleague was because imagine being an AL East guy, Harrison, and we don't have interleague and all the stars are sitting there in the NL West like they are and never getting a chance to watch them ever.
Yeah, I think back to the '90s, and I think of there are so many players that were out west that I really never got to see.
Yeah.
I mean, how many games from Ken Griffey Jr. did you see? How many games for Ricky Henderson did you get to see
Tony
when
Gwynn.
he's out in Oakland? Like
Yeah.
very, very few. I mean, if they weren't the Sunday night game of the week, I didn't see them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Most of all, it's great for the fans, and I agree, Scott. Right, your teams are in it for
Yeah,
longer, and I get it. Um,
yeah. I think it's accomplished what they wanted it to accomplish. Um, I do feel like there's times where the regular season feels like a little bit of a teams might coast a little bit, or it's kind of maybe they don't grind as hard to win some games, but at the end of it, when you get into September, it feels like so many teams are in it, and then it just becomes a battle.
yeah, Greg, it's a good point. Just feels like most years the teams that get in at the last second or last day just get curb stomped in the first round. You're
True
not
story.
wrong there. Yeah, not wrong.
See the
Um,
Cincinnati Reds.
yeah. Um, I would rather have all the interleague games happen in the middle of the season. I would agree with that. I think structuring the schedule so they are in the middle of the season, so you have meaningful division games down the stretch, I think is perfect, right? You are gonna have to have some interleague games in September because you have 15 teams in each league. That it's just you're gonna have one interleague matchup every series or every slate of games in that series. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, but I think with the expansion and getting rid of the buys, I really hope that they kind of set up the playoff format like the NHL hockey does. It's like 1 through 8, the best records 1 through 8 get in, and then it's 1-8, 2-7, and so on and so forth, and then reseed. I think ideally that's what they would like to do, but we will see. But as
Yeah,
far as
it's certainly it opens up more opportunities to do
Mhm,
it differently in the future. But
yeah. All right. Next one I got for you. Is there any team besides the Dodgers one move away from a World Series?
I mean, I would say yes. I think that, and now I guess is this like Is it one move they could most definitely make, or just like one move that they could potentially make that would change everything? Like, are we?
One move that they could, one move, one player. I guess one move, because I mean, one move could be multiple players from a team, but one move away from a World Series.
Yeah,
Which
I think the Brewers. I think the Brewers could be one move away from a World Series. I think if they, whether it's whether it's a bat, whether it's a another starter. Like I think that's a team that could make a move and be even more dangerous in the playoffs. Um, I think the Yankees, obviously pending Judge's situation, but
and
that
Bellinger's on the IL too. That's
yeah,
another
I
big
worry
one.
less about Bellinger. Bellinger to me is not a guy that is going to keep you up at night when you're making a game plan. Um, but I think Judge Judge ultimately steers that ship. But that pitching staff is elite.
Mhm.
And if they can just get enough offense, that's a team that could be a problem. So, Judge gets healthy, you fix the Volpe problem or the catcher problem. Yeah, I think the Yankees are one move away from being a World Series contender or winner. Um, and I would argue that the Braves could be there too. The Braves have been there all year. They've got, Acuna's back, hit a home run today. If they can get some of these guys back and rolling again and maybe add a pitcher or a shortstop, because we've heard that mentioned about 72 billion times on this show. If they could go find that one missing piece, yeah, I think the Braves could be one move away from being a World Series champion. So I do think there's a few teams that are that close. I think other than that, everybody else is definitely, I think, further away.
The Rays by moving to Orlando.
Yeah,
Love it.
fair.
Phillies,
No,
they're more than one move away.
yeah, and that core just can't get it done.
Okay, that's fair. I'm with you on all those teams. I think you're right. I think it would be Yankees, Brewers. Um, Rays are intriguing to me
Yeah,
because I think that they can hit, but a good pitcher can shut that lineup down for sure.
yep.
Um, but if they can match it with a Skubal, right, a Rasmussen, like they have a decent staff that could go toe to toe with a lot of these staffs in the playoff picture. So Rays, I tentatively put in there, but I would say could also be one move away.
Yeah, I don't. The thing with the Rays is that they're kind of like the Brewers to me. Like they don't over the length of the season. Yeah, like they're going to win a lot of games. But when you actually get into like matching up, I don't know that they've got the juice to
Yeah,
match
that's
up.
fair.
They're a very good team, very consistent team generally. Um, but they're not a scary team.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Um, Phillies are pretenders with 95% of the league, and that's fair.
I mean, I'm not buying the Phillies as a World Series team at all.
Ever. Twins may be one move away from being able to win the College World Series.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
fact.
even Harper in the post game the other day was asking for another bat or two. I did see that. Even
Yeah,
Harper was saying, "Yeah, we need help."
yeah, they
Um,
do, and he's not
so
wrong. They do.
no, so
That outfield is a black hole of bats. I mean, Marsh is fine, but
yeah, he's had a good year, but
yeah,
we'll
but
see.
that's it. They got nothing
Well,
else out of the outfield.
and Garcia got hurt. The guy you got in the offseason is done for the year. So,
Yeah,
all
it's been
right,
rough.
last question I got for you, Harrison. Which team has the brightest future in 5 years? Which team in 5 years across the MLB that's not, I would say, not already at the top of their game? Like Dodgers are out,
Oh, so I can't just say
Yankees are
Dodgers.
out. Yeah, which team has the brightest future?
Oh, there's a few that I like. I will say I've pretty consistently said that I thought that the Marlins won the deadline a couple years ago. They
Mm,
continue to pile in young talent. You're seeing some of that begin to work to their advantage right now. I mean, I think the ceiling for the Marlins is very high, but I will say if I had to pick one of those teams right now to be like, yeah, I think they've got the greatest or the brightest future, I might take the Cardinals. I think what we've seen from Weatherholt is incredible, and he's going to become a core piece for you for a long time. They've got a very highly rated farm system that Heim Bloom stocked with more players this past offseason. You're welcome for your Boston connections. He's going to continue to stock it. And I think that the Cardinals are going to be one of those teams that continues to roll prospects through. But the difference is they have some money to spend too, so they can also go get some veterans around it and build a more, kind of rounded team between young, controllable talent and free agent type talent. So, for me, I might take the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think they were the team I was going to take, but since you took them, I guess I can pivot and take somebody else. Um, with the absolute travesty the Chicago White Sox have been the last few
Huh.
years, it has been nice to see that organization turn around and make good moves for them, right? I mean, shipping Garrett Crochet out, yes, Kyle Teal hasn't been able to stay on the field, but the talent you got back for Crochet is working out for the White Sox, taking a chance on Murakami and working out. I think they're making great decisions for their organization. They are 4 years ahead of anywhere we thought they were going to be. Let's be honest. It helps that the AL is awful, but they are way ahead of schedule. I do love the Pirates pitching, but I feel like in 5 years, Skeens is gone, right? So, like, what does their pitching look like then? I don't know. Um, I'm with you. I think a couple people said it in the chat. I'm going to take the Nationals here. Now, I know they had Soto at one point and he's gone. They had Harper at, one point. He's gone, right? They just seem like they don't hang on to their superstars for a long time. You have two guys right now. Granted that Abrams doesn't get traded at the deadline. You have two kids coming up that are pretty much proven future superstars. And in 5 years, they're both going to be at their peak, which is going to be nuts. If Abram can stay around 300, driving in the runs that he's doing, James Wood starts hitting 40 homers plus a year, and then they start building pieces around them slowly for the next 5 years. And please, for heaven's sake, get some god dang pitching. And the amount of runs scored that the Nationals have put up this year, we could be in for a powerhouse in 5 years in DC. So I'll take the Nationals here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Nationals farm system right now is not great. It's good, but that's going to be a massive focus from that new front office. And I think you're going to see them just continue to bring in young talent and figure it out. But the Marlins to me are the most intriguing. They might have the most upside of all of them, just with the sheer number of top prospects they have floating around in their system. But with them, it's always a matter of in 5 years, how many of them are even still there?
Yeah.
Does that trend change? I mean, for me, it would have been hands down the Marlins if I had some confidence that they were actually going to try to retain some people.
Fair.
Because their farm system is loaded with top level talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm with you. I think Weatherholt's the game changer here. That kid is already a franchise player, and he's a freaking rookie.
Yeah, and
he's the game changer.
There's some incredible talent coming up behind him.
Yep. So, John Temple, not the Pirates. They're going to have to trade Skeens. White Sox or Cardinals. He's going with. Highlight says, "I love Pittsburgh's pitching. I love Miami's leadership. The White Sox are surprisingly good." Yeah, I'm with you with all of those points. Highlights, except for in 5 years. Where is Pittsburgh's pitching at that point? I don't know. Question mark. I mean, we'll see. Ivan's like Washington and Miami are tied in his book, and I'm with you. Both very good, both in good shape. Curtis is going to take Washington. Love that. The Nats need a pitching staff, period. with you highlights, they got nobody. They have a 31-year-old rookie in Foster Griffin who might also get moved at the deadline. So Yeah, Nationals need a pitching staff for sure. Yeah, Mariners looking really bad again, not getting Murakami. Just like they told Otani, it was right field or have fun somewhere else. Yeah, is it about time for another Marlins World Series win and subsequent fire sale? I think they're actually way overdue for that, to be honest, John Carter. So
We
yeah,
all know the Mariners just hate bats. Like that's what they don't like offense, so they just keep turning those guys away.
yeah. Michael says Nats need pitching and people around Abrams and Wood. They're further off than the White Sox. And I would agree at this point, but I'm just thinking in 5 years, what does it look like? So, because in 5 years, Murakami's not on the White Sox.
No,
It's a
in
lot of
2 years he's
power.
not.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. But with the control of Abrams and Wood, and who knows if they get extended, you bring in some guys. I think the Nationals are in great shape. So,
Yep. Yeah.
all right, Harrison. On to a trivia segment for you that I just kind of came up with.
Oh no.
How many players can you guess by just their eyes? Now, there's a lot of quotations in here
Oh
to
God.
kind of help you out with who is in this segment. So, how many players can you guess by just their eyes? First one.
I mean, that's Manny Ramirez, right?
It is Manny Ramirez. Good. Next one.
Oh, is this Machado?
This is Manny Machado.
So
Good.
is Manny the theme here?
Not all of them, but yes. It's a tougher one.
Hmm. Is that like Crosley Field or something in the background? That looks like an old ballpark.
It is. It's Forbes.
Oh, Forbes. Okay. So we're talking. This one's decently old then.
Mm-hmm. He's
Pictures in,
he's a
pictures in
well
color
known.
at least.
Yep. He was a pirate. Highlights got it. It is Manny
Oh,
Sanguian. Yep, Manny Sanguian. All right.
wow.
Next one. Now remember the other ones in quotes. I had Manny, I had Can, and I had you.
Oh, is this Canseco?
This is Jose Canseco. Yep, good. Next one.
Those are some scary eyes.
Mm-hmm. This guy was an A. He went to the Mets. I don't know if he's rostered at the moment.
Oh man. Um, I can picture a face, but I can't come up with a name.
Anybody in the chat got this one? It is Mark Canna. Nice job, Michael Simpson. Mark Canna.
Oh wow,
Yes,
yeah.
good. All right, next one. This guy played all over.
Oh, this is one of the Uptons.
Which one?
Anaheim's got to be Justin.
It is Justin Upton. Nice job, Harrison. And then the last one.
I almost immediately reacted to Sean Casey, but it's not Casey.
Not Casey.
Intense.
Mm-hmm. A lot of power for this position. That's not normally a power position.
Oh, okay. I was going to the road of like one of those, like a Harden or one of those pitcher types, but a lot of power. Like a Dozier?
Along those lines, yep. Dozier doesn't fit my quotes at the
No, it
beginning.
doesn't. Oh, is this
It's not
Ugla?
Jeff. It is Dan Ugla. Yep, Dan Ugla. So there we go. Yep. So that was my quick little trivia segment for you tonight. I hope that was fun.
John Carter. I did not have judging players 1,000-yard stares or staring longly into the eyes of ball players on my bingo card today. Nor did
Yeah,
I, John. Nor did I.
yeah. So, but yeah,
Nick loves to just shock me with stuff.
I try to just not have the same stuff, man. Like, I mean, I try to get creative with it. So,
No,
hope that was
I
cool.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So, love it. But you guys did pretty well with that one. The Justin Upton one, I thought I was gonna get you with, and you knew that one pretty
I
pretty quick.
Yeah, the faces of the Uptons, they had those kind of narrow faces,
Hmm.
like that. Just I don't know for some reason, like I can always picture them, pick them out.
I still think it's absolutely crazy that they both hit their 100th career home run on the same day.
That's weird.
That trivia question's nuts to me. So cool. But all right. Well, I got nothing else. Harrison, do you have anything else? Chat, do you have anything to bring up? What do you got for us?
Did you see Kurtz exit the game
I did.
yesterday after getting hit by a pitch?
Yep.
Was he back?
I don't know. I haven't heard, but I know he wasn't in for the last couple of games against the Sox. So, and I don't know if he was in the lineup tonight. Because right, they're playing 4 games against the Sox, so they're still playing tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 3-3, bottom of the 6th. Um, let's see. Kurtz is see if he's in the lineup. He is not. Oh, yep, he's back. He's hitting
Okay.
leadoff tonight, so he is back.
Yeah, I didn't see the response about whether or not he's back. But I was like, huh.
No Ugath Urbina. Yeah, I
Yikes.
try to keep those guys far away from the show as possible. But
Yeah, there's
I
certain
get it.
players we just try not to talk about.
Yeah. So, oh, A's just took the lead. But yeah.
So I gotta ask Nick. So
Okay.
we grew up in the ESPN era where Sports Center and Baseball Tonight were life. What what did you think about Carl Ravitch being let go by the network?
To pay Pat McAfee what $60 million a year, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that.
I think it's ESPN's answer to try to keep up with streamers as high quality as us. Is I think is what they're trying to do. Um, I mean, kind of a joke, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it's kind of their. I hate it. To answer your question, I hate it. Right? I mean, Carl Ravitch is another one of those spaces that like ESPN baseball. It's Carl Ravitch, right? Always has been, always
Yep.
will be. Um, and this is the thing right here, Scott, right? And John, both of these reactions, I'm with you, right? I sure can't stand ESPN anymore. No respect. Ravitch should go to MLB Network, and if they're smart, they will jump on that. And I think we'll see him over there for sure. I think ESPN is just trying to keep up with the times, maybe. Like they realize that streaming is taking over, like cable's not a thing anymore, right? I think it's just their answer to that. Pat McAfee is that in your face guy that people watch all the time, no matter what he's talking about.
Well, it's like a train wreck. You kind of can't help but watch.
Yeah. So,
And he's the loose cannon, the big opinions, not afraid to piss people off. He's got a big platform, a big following. And honestly, like I like Pat McAfee. I find him very entertaining. I also find him very obnoxious at times. Same with Stephen A. Smith.
oh,
There are
God.
people out there that love Stephen A. Smith. I don't know how anybody listens to that guy talk without wanting to, rip their own ears off. Um,
Yeah.
I just, but I get it. Like this is the world we're in. It's, the demographics are shifting. People want the sound bites, the clips, the, kind of the live raw show, and that's what McAfee gives you. That's why people like Stephen A. Smith and his hot takes. When he's not afraid to just throw a ridiculous opinion out there, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is it, Scott. You nailed it. Nonsense sells.
oh yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith makes some of the most insane claims, and like when he's wrong, because he's wrong like pretty much always. Nobody ever comes back to be like, dude, that was a bad take, because nobody cares. We're on to the next bad take he's making.
Right.
That guy's like the weatherman. He's wrong always, and yet he's still there.
Yeah. But that's what gets you the most views.
It does.
Just to throw our trivia questions in there, you know which ones get the most views? Is the ones that we botch by accident. Like we make a mistake. I make a spelling mistake. I know, crazy, right? I make a spelling mistake, or we make a mistake on the answer, or we don't word it correctly. You know how many times my grammar has been fixed and the reel's gone to 1 million views. It's just like, what did I do? It was like I put and or in the question, and I just got roasted for like a month and a half straight. And I'm like, the joke's on you guys. We just made $1,500 on that reel. I mean, it wasn't that, but it's like, go ahead, correct my grammar. But that's the type of world we live in right now.
Yeah.
It's not about what we're putting out and the substance of it. It is, where can I prove that this person's wrong? And I hate that for our society, that you are just looking to put people down, but that's what it is.
Well, everybody's a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, so Stephen A. Smith doesn't care that his takes are wrong because he's getting the viewership from it.
And he's getting paid.
And he's doing it. He's probably doing it on purpose for that reason. I hate that, but
he's like the sports version of Howard Stern. Yeah. I'm going to say the most ridiculous things to get attention, and I don't care if you like me or not, because you can't help but watch. You can't help but watch it because I'm going to piss you off.
Yeah.
And the other questions that do really well for us are the ones that's like, who, this player is the best player of all time. Who are the top 5 players of all time? Because people will get in the comments and fight each other over it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's just fun to let them go.
Highlights, thanks. This means a lot. Not to pump you guys up, but McAfee's show is just a bunch of bros giving us their opinions about sports. I find you guys more entertaining. Oh, thanks. I'm blushing a little bit. But Pat ain't the same Pat anymore, and his own boy Dallas Clark said it. Yeah.
No, Pat is a massive media personality. He might be the biggest name in sports broadcasting and sports media right now. Period. Full stop. And he's definitely he's got a much bigger ego and edge than he had when he started.
Yep. Media is about raising money and not being accurate. Sad. Yeah. And then Curtis backs you up with that, Scott, saying negativity sells, positivity is boring. It's a microcosm of society. And that's my whole point, right? People are always looking to put other people down to make themselves feel better. And I hate that. And that's the one thing about this community that I love and respect so much is never in a million years would I think we could sit down with 29 different fan bases and have respectful conversations about each other's teams and see where we're all coming from, right? That's what I love building here because it's unique. You can't find this anywhere else. Nobody else does this, right? And that's why I love this. And I'm glad that this platform has become what it has because it's a breath of fresh air, even for me. Because like I can't go on these team pages anymore. I can't do any of like just the generic ESPN or MLB pages anymore. It's just people just roasting each other the entire time. So I love that our page in this community has not become that. Do we run across people like that? Occasionally, right? But I would say 95% of our content has very respectful discussions in it. And I owe that to you guys, but it's a nice breath of fresh air for sure. But I mean, listen, if someone was willing to pay me $60 million a year to do what Pat McAfee's doing, I'm sorry who I'm stepping on, but thanks. I will gladly collect that paycheck.
Well, and I think the kind of the misnomer about what they pay McAfee is that they're paying the Pat McAfee show.
Well,
They're not paying
right,
Pat personally. He pays all the staff. He does all the production.
right,
Basically, they gave him a $60 million budget to produce his show. But he handles all of the production, all the people, he pays all those costs.
right. So
ESPN doesn't.
he is ESPN right now.
I mean, effectively, his programming is now, and then you factor in all the college football stuff he does, and I mean, Pat McAfee's literally everywhere on ESPN. I mean, he was doing the WWE stuff there for a little while. He was
Yeah,
literally everywhere.
yeah. I mean, oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, it's the reason I keep coming back. It's virtual talking about baseball with the boys. Yeah, and that's what we want it to be. Like, it's just, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Well,
It's wild that I get you have to change and adapt to society, what's selling, what are people watching, but to just kind of throw somebody like Carl Ravitch with 34 years of loyalty to your brand, your network,
yep.
I can't even imagine what that felt like for him.
I mean, and apparently he's going to finish out. So obviously, when ESPN lost Sunday Night Baseball to NBC, that kind of left a big hole in their baseball programming. So
Mm,
it's kind of like, okay, like how much longer do these guys make it? And apparently, Ravitch is going to continue to finish. He's going to finish off the baseball schedule and then disappear. But like when as a kid and as a teenager, like every night, Sports Center, you'd see Ravitch on some nights, but every night Baseball Tonight. Like I used to
yeah,
listen to Carl Ravitch every single night. And, like that was my summer. My summer was getting because of course I couldn't see the West Coast game, so they'd bring us the live updates during Baseball Tonight at 10 o'clock, and like that's how I got my baseball for the day. It
yeah.
was Carl Ravitch bringing it to me, and then he'd have Pedro Gomez and Tim Kirkchin and Peter Gammons and all these guys coming on, and it was the best freaking show.
Yeah.
But it was just guys reporting baseball. And ESPN doesn't report the sports news anymore. They have all these goofy shows where people just sit there and yell at each other.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that is like, how does the Little League World Series get affected? If
Yeah,
you've essentially like Carl Ravitch is the voice of Little League World Series. Like he
yeah,
does
that's
all the
true.
televised games. Like, do they bring him back for that, or is just like they're gonna have Pat McAfee freaking announce the Little League World Series games? Like,
Yep.
what happens there? I mean, I'm sure they can subcontract him or whatever, but um 34 years means nothing to them. I'm surprised he didn't flip his wig, literally. Yikes.
Oh, Harold Reynolds too. Yeah, Harold Reynolds was great on Baseball Tonight.
Yeah. Ravitch will start his own podcast and will gain a nice following. Yeah, I mean, kind of like Kirchin has done. Um,
Dan Patrick's got one of the biggest podcasts in the entire country now.
yeah,
Um, he left ESPN a while ago.
yeah. Which another name, crazy. But if I'm MLB Network, I'm bringing in Carl Ravitch, and I'm not even thinking twice about it. Why not?
Well, there are some people that believe Ravitch may just retire,
Yeah,
go do a little podcast, go do some appearances, but he's not looking to get back in to keep. He's 61, which it's kind of hard to believe that all these guys we watched when they were in their 30s are now in their 60s. But he's 61. He might be about at the end of his desire to go that hard anymore. But he could very easily do a podcast or do some pick up some appearances here and there and stay active, but not be on a full time schedule anymore.
yeah,
It's just sad to me that he won't be kind of the voice of baseball on ESPN anymore. But at the same time, I don't even watch baseball on ESPN anymore. So
it's fair. It's
other
fair.
than other than I'll catch some baseball tonight. I mean, it's not even really baseball tonight anymore, but I'll catch some of the baseball segments.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, I spent so much time with Carl Ravitch as a kid. I was kind of sad to see him go.
Yeah. Um, I'm with you, highlights, right? I haven't watched ESPN in years either, right? I don't find it. I don't know if it's me aging out of ESPN or I just find the programming not great, but
The
I
programming
haven't,
sucks. Just call it
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, I haven't watched ESPN in forever
If it,
either. So,
I mean, it wasn't for the fact that my kids watch the wrestling stuff. I wouldn't. ESPN would never be on in my house.
Yeah. Man, if we could get Carl Ravitch on this show to be a third host, absolutely. So since he's available for you
Just
guys
make
to
some
warm him
guest
up.
appearances.
Yeah, man, it'd be incredible. So, I think Linda Cohn retiring a few weeks ago was them letting her know she was fired, or you can go out in style. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's
I agree.
all the old guard's gone.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Carl Ravitch will have his own segment on rounding third baseball soon, man. I would love it. Bring it. That would be incredible. But
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's just kind of the ever-changing world that we're in, right? People are consuming things in quicker clips and online. Like everyone's cutting the cord. So ESPN has done the same thing. So
Yeah, and streaming's a different animal. It's a lot of shorter content, and it's designed for a different audience.
yeah.
They don't sit there for an hour and talk sports anymore. It's not that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else tonight?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, we could have a busy weekend here. We will try to keep up with it if things start moving. Might have some live updates. I might hop on my phone if something big happens and have live, get some reactions, or post a reel, something of that nature. So if you guys just see a random live pop up, it's because either, Skubal got traded or big blockbuster we haven't even talked about, which I don't think is ever going to happen, but we'll see. I might hop on live, get you guys' reactions at the time, but enjoy your weekends, and we'll see if pieces start moving here. We'll come back Sunday and kind of get ready to dive into Monday's show for the trade deadline. Again, I will be on from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you want to come on with me during the day, I would love to have some visitors, so it's not just me talking to you guys. If you guys would want to come on, talk some baseball, I might have some other guys from other podcasts come on too, maybe throughout the day, kind of like when I did that 12-hour marathon show. It might do that. So check us out Monday. Again, now that I know highlights is in the comments, thank you so much for that appearance last night. I had an absolute blast. So if you guys don't know already, download the app Mic'd Up and look for highlights from Lowlifes. You can actually voice in comments to the show. Really cool what they do. Just a bunch of friends that travel around different ballparks. They do a really great job. So it was a lot of fun last night. So check them out. Highlights from Lowlifes on Mic'd Up. So check that out. But until then, appreciate everything you guys bring to the show night after night. Enjoy your weekends. I hope your teams get what they need.
Except the Dodgers.
Except for the Dodgers, for their Christmas in July. And we will be back Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.